are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that. Absolutely fascinating. That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on with a smile on his face.
We just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western threats and the Western narrative. You dare dictate me the same old every single day without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Stallone.
I had to do something. I forgot all about it to do today. And anyway, I just finished it off. Now, watch the game, obviously. Finished it off, and but that's it. So 5 minutes late. I'm sorry, boys. It's got bloody 7 minutes down. Sorry about that, especially with the introduction. Anyway, the Anfield Roar. These titles have me in stitches. Why? See your name up there. Sick of them seagulls. Me too, when you've got them again at the weekend, Saturday. Oh, blimey. So what did you think about tonight? I'll tell you what gets me, and it must get you. All that playing around the back. All that playing around the back really gets up my nose. Don't know about you lot, you know. I don't mean but you lot, you know what I mean. The Anfield Roar to Reggio, Edward, MNX, that's Jay, Yusuf, Ian Mack, look at all them, eh? Any kind. And look at all them for me. Lovely. Even a flank, even in Rome, mate. And say, hiya, Frank and Shaq. Great game for the neutral, but for me, poor. Great strike from Gapco. Yeah, poor defence, a joke. Yeah, our joke is a defence. It's a joke. Hang on, I'll say. Our defence is a joke. Yeah. Yeah. I want Man U next, please. Yeah. Anyone, any of them. I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered about it. If we get, as long as we get them at home. Big rapper. Anyway, so what did you think? You know, that playing around in the box cost us. Cost us. And the Anfield says, Frankie, I enjoyed the performance, but I do have a few complaints. Mismanagement of subs tonight. And I didn't like young Kwanzaa getting hooked up for a bit of a bad luck. I was talking to Steve Evans. He sent me a text. And I said to him, bet you any money, you'll bring Kwanzaa off. And he left it. I think it was a bit of a humiliation, to be honest. You know, with a minute to go. and he brings Quansar off and brings Cornette on. I thought that was a bit of a humiliation for the lad. Because, remember the Ipswich game? First half, he took him off. And he hasn't played a Prem game since. And tonight, you know, it was a bad pass, though. You shouldn't be giving passes like that, you know, for their goal. Oh, shocking. Really was. And then he made up with it. He made up for that with a great block. And then what could he do with their second? Deflected in. And I thought Yaros, what a keeper he is. That save when it was where we were up 1-0. And that could have been an equaliser. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if that was been Allison or Kelleher, we would have been raving about it. But we should rave about that as well. So we've got 3 very fine keepers. Well, 4. We've got that Marcia de Villy, haven't we? That's how you pronounce his name. Edwards getting there, told to play like that. Edwards, I don't think he likes Quansah. Yeah, the point is he doesn't like Enzo either. But Enzo's always liable for a card. He's always liable for it. The referee was absolutely useless though as well. He was terrible, him. Yeah, who was it? There was getting ragged all. Was it Jones? I forget who it was. You know, near the death. And he was getting pulled and everything else. The fellow went down and a foul given against him. No, against us. Shocking referee, really. The Ottomans. Love that name. The Ottomans here. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you. Yeah, they haven't got many likes, to be honest. One like I've got. Doesn't like me. Love yous. Doesn't like me. They don't like me. Anyway, Tito, too much passion and pissing about. Bradley was too far advanced. I thought Bradley had a bad game, to be honest, but he's just come back from injury and he's been thrown in at the deep end there. That lad was just running past him. He got them past all night by 2 different wingers. So was, I tell you, you know, their second goal was leading up to it. It was a terrible clearance by Robertson. It was dreadful. A little weak header. Right to them. When someone scored. Yeah, he says ref was a joke. That's it. Canate there was them 2, wasn't it? Canate getting his thing tugged, you know, in the front. That was a foul. That was a foul on Canate. And he gets booked. Foul against him and gets booked. So you're right there, Yusuf. There you go. Yeah. The Red Jew. City out, he says to Callum. They mustn't have cheated tonight. No, they did cheat. They didn't want to go through. That's cheating, isn't it? Think about it. That's cheating. They didn't want to stay in this cup. The Anfield, Gapco did F up that layoff and the breakaway. I said that. Now, my mate, Steve Evans, said, I said, no. I said, it was a terrible ball, the layoff. He only had to put it along the ground. He fucking bounced everywhere. He had to bring it under control. And the goalkeeper saved it with his foot. Ali Danouche. Late show tonight, yeah. You know, it's late for you, isn't it? We're 2 hours behind. You're 2 hours ahead. So sorry about that, Ali. Yeah, like button. Hit the like for the gap goes go first goal. Yeah, what a goal that was. Absolutely fantastic. City out, says the Anfield. Lovely. We must defend this title for Klopp. Oh yeah, it was his last one. There are two major things that I've always wanted every season. And that's the Champions League and the Prem. Always. Always wanted them. And Callum says, draw in 15. Let us know, Callum, who we get, please. Thank you. What time's the draw? Must be in there. What? 10:30. 10:30 the draw. I think Ali Denise will stay with us and then go to bed. You go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. The vlogs. Hello, Frank. Another win. Roll on Saturday. Gapco on fire. Them 2 goals had some power in them. Unlucky for Kwanzaa. The poor lad can't get a break. His confidence will be. That's what the Red Juice said, or was it the Anfield Raw? That's what I said. You know, he came off. His confidence will be shattered. But he's a great centre-half. He really is. He's a big lad. He's a big lad. So whether Sloot has a words with him, but he should never have brought him off. Ever. Not for the final few minutes. Should have kept him on there. Give him a little bit of confidence. I'm talking about give Kwanzaa confidence, obviously. Ezra says, all forwards apart from Chiesa are chipping in with, goal assists. Thing is, you see, he can't get a game because he's injured. Being half Italian, I'd love to see an Italian player there. But I said it at the beginning when we were in for him. Waste of time. Chiesa. You know, let's hope if he does get fit, comes in and scores 9 hat-tricks and things like that, I'll just say, yeah, well, I'll eat my words. But I doubt if he'll get 9 hat-tricks, in all honesty. Anyway, the vlogs. Jones did my head in a few times. He would win the ball and have space and time to run into the counter-attack, but would stop it. Yeah. Just go past 3 their players just to pass it to the keeper. That's what gets me. You know, we plays a lot in that game. Sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards, and back to the keeper. Went all the way back to the keeper. We had a throw in the first half, down by their 18-yard box. And it ended up with Yaros. That's our tactics at the moment. Ali says, I'll go to bed soon, but I'll still watch it from my phone. Make sure that it's well charged, Ali. Make sure. The Anfield. Young Naoni looks a talent. He is very attractive on the eye and not a... Oh, believe you. Believe you there. Jay says, I love them terrible balls. They are, that could have been sexual, couldn't it? I love them terrible balls, Frank. I usually go with my head in a dive. At least I put some effort into a crap pass, even if it's on the floor. Used to be a fella who played, I wish George was here, played for Liverpool, and his diving headers, he always went off at half time with his nose scraped, mud on the end of his nose, come out and it was all clean, and then went at the end of the game with all mud on his nose. Diving headers, like along the floor, like a missile, like a submarine, a torpedo along the floor, mud on his nose. That was a fella named Louis Bimpson. And Liverpool transfers him, and the following season, he won the cup with Blackburn, got a medal. Louis Bimpson. The vlogs. And Dan's Edwards can't wait for that lad to be back. I don't even know what injury he got. He done his back in. He was going on loan. They were putting him out on loan to Wayne Rooney's lot. That's what they think of young Dan's. Callum, I ordered one of Jeff's books today. I'm having him on next Tuesday. He's on next Tuesday, Callum. Jeff Goulden. He's a good lad. Good lad. Great writer. Fantastic writer. The Red Juice says, this is Slot's team now, so we must win the title for him. You can't win the title for the previous manager. You reckon Amarim would like to win for their 7-ag? I love that 7-ag. Me thinks not, says the Red Juice. Yeah. But, it was Jürgen's final season, won us a trophy, and that was the trophy won. So there you go. Callum says he's answering the back injury problem from growing. He's about 6'1" now, isn't he? 6'2". Big lad, big tall lad. I think he's great. I can honestly say that he's going to be great for us. I can see the potential. No, I hate that word potential. I can see the talent in him. I can see the talent in that lad. And the Anfield says, again, talking to the vlogs, agreed bloody touches that Jones had tonight. All I want him to do is to receive it and progress it. But he too often, 4 or 5 touches and passes it back to move it quickly, to move quicker, Carlyle, for Christ. Carlyle. No, you're right. You're right. And he's just going, and he can do it as well. He can do it, just twirls around. And he's away then, but then sideways. I know we're criticising here, but and the Red Juice says, no, you were the only one to mention. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? It's a naughty boy. He gets up to naughty things. The Red Juice mustn't have watched it. No, I'm leaving my thoughts until I rewatch the game. I think, yeah. And Daryl says, that save from Yara certainly incredible. Yeah, seriously incredible. It was unbelievable. I said before, Daryl, you know, if it would have been Allison or the other fella, Kelleher, Quiveen Kelleher. That's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, you know, that would have been, wow, you know, look at that, you know. And it was this year. We've got four very good goalkeepers, apparently. He's a big lad as well, isn't he? Surprised me. And that was all this messing about, think about this. All this messing about, passing us about, you know, getting us away and whatever, passing across the 18-yard box. And just out, while players are on other players as well. Opposition players and our players, and the ball goes to him, or whoever it is. Now, he's making his debut, full team debut. And that's pressure, automatically, for that lad. And Callum says, Scousers don't fail at the top, etc. Trent, Rooney, Fowler, Gerrard. I'm glad you put Rooney in there, to be honest. I am. Not just saying that. But you're right. You're right. But I can go back further, Callum. I can go back to Jerry Byrne, Chris Lawler, Tommy Smith, Ian Callaghan, Sammy Lee. Sammy Lee never gets mentioned. Fantastic footballers. Fantastic. You know what I mean? They can do it. Roger Hunt, World Cup winner. All the press, you know, the Southern press, that is, this is how biased they've always been against Liverpool, you know, the Northern lads, especially us. And they were all screaming out. And so were all the Cockneys, you know, all the Chelsea supporters, Arsenal supporters, Spurs supporters, and everybody else down there was screaming that Jimmy Greaves must play in that final. But Alf Ramsey gave him his due. He said, no, I'm playing Roger Hunt. And he played it. But that's going back to the old school. Of the likes of refereeing and linesmanship, managers, trainers. There you go. That's the old school, especially refereeing. Callum says football's got too tactical these days. Yeah. Just play football. I said that again, you know, all this passing around at the back, whatever. I don't know what it's about. But no matter how you look at it, they're Sloot's tactics. No one else's. No one else's. Daryl says, Enzo is awful, so bad, Frank. Yeah. He lost the ball a couple of times. He has it whipped off him. But then again, you've got to look, he's been left out, hasn't he? He hasn't played. It's all right running around, you know, a pitch, training and kicking us about and training. It's all right doing that, but you've got to have competitiveness. And he hasn't played much. That's why I mentioned a few minutes ago about the pressure onto young Jaros, whatever his name is. Because, just messing about at the back, pass here and pass there and back of it, and that puts you under pressure. No one should be under pressure, anybody. Daryl says, Top Morton's done really well. I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know. He's all right in parts, but to me, he's done nothing. I'll get hammered for that, I suppose. Yeah, I did you. Daryl, how many games has Endo played this season? Man, not really much fit yet. Last season, I thought Endo, that's what I tried to explain there. Good point, Reggie. Good point. So, Gapco, lads, Gapco. In the first half, he had, he had a couple of efforts which were unlucky, by the way. And for me, he was the only player on the field who knew where the goal was. And those two goals, here's something for you. Would you have left Gapco on to see if he could try and score his hat-trick? Hey. What do you think? Do you think he should have left Gapco on to score his hat-trick? Because I do. And I think he would have netted. They were tiring at the back. Did you hear what I don't know what commentator you had on, but this commentator went out. The Japanese lad coming on, and Welbeck, and he said, here's the big guns, and he mentioned that lad's name. And Danny Welbeck, big guns. Oh. Callum says, Gapco finishing like that should have been our new number 9, but when he's in the number 9 position, he gets played as a false 9. As you said before, Callum, it's the tactics. They confuse everybody. All tactics. But you're right. Jay says, it makes me smile when fans call out players. That's their awful. They're awful. They're professional footballers, so they can't be too bad. And I really don't think too much into our criticism. They just check the bank. I've got to answer it. It's a bloody student. I said it's help. She doesn't realise what I bloody do. Blimey. You help these people and you text you at what? 10:15 to say, anyway. Yes, Gapco. Don't think he should have been brought Salah on. I agree there. Should have just left him on. No need for Salah to come on. What if Salah would have got a kick on the ankle? So you're right there, Edward. One glaring thing, says the Anfield. tonight is Endo doesn't slot into slots plans. I think it's sayonara. Endo, my son. Yeah, it's definitely. But what else is frightening? Kwanzaa. I don't think he likes Kwanzaa. I think he must think he's a liability. So what do you think? Overall, without those bad mistakes, honestly, they wouldn't have scored. She's talking about the state. Is she Brazilian? No, she isn't. No, she isn't. I haven't seen it. I'm just helping her with a final dissertation about Liverpool, not the club, about how this country, not other countries, but this country views Liverpool. And we all know what that is, how they view us. So I'm helping her out. I think she's seen me on the telly or something, talking about it. So she said, will you do it? Yeah, come down, get an interview. She Brazilian. I was telling her about something years ago, what was happening, which was shocking. Only for this Brazilian girl, unbelievable. I thought she was sent from heaven. I thought she was manna from heaven. Anyway, the Anfield. Frankie, I wasn't wrong with my lineup, was I? And George basically called me Roy Hodgson for it. No, you're right. I don't know whether I said Jaros. I wouldn't be surprised if Jaros, he puts Jaros in. Jaros. Where's Jaros from? I haven't a clue, I haven't a clue where he's from. But you're right there, Anfield, you did. You picked more or less the team. Tell George I've got a kick in the shins with his name all over. The Anfield is Czech, Frankie. Czech Republic, I know. I know Callum. Jaros is from Yarosmania. I was looking there, and who would you get? Well, there's only one player, isn't there, really, for man of the match? There's only one player. And the thing is, do you pick him for Saturday? Do you pick him for Saturday? And that's Gapco. That's Gapco. But I'll tell you this now. If he just plays Saturday and he plays out on the left, that right is going to be blocked. If you know what I mean. Cutting into the right. Because that young lad's on the wing, he always goes out to the right, and that was blocked for him right through the game. didn't see the blue and white tonight. Where were they? The blue and white. I'd rate Gapco 9 out of 10 and Yaros 8 out of 10. 2 highest rated. Yeah, because I said to me mate, yeah, I said I'm having Yaros as me man of the match. I did say that too. And he said, why? I said, that save he made, he was going the wrong way. He was wrong-footed. And how he got to it was incredible. And I was going at speed, you know. So I thought, I'll give him man of the match. I'll give him man of the match. So then I changed my mind. I had to bring Gapco in because they were superb goals. Not only that, but he had 2 great efforts as well in the first half. And I felt sorry for him being brought up because I think he could have easily have got his hat-trick. Really do. Frankie, what did you see that peeved you off tonight, lad? I said the only thing. Hang on, I did see something, didn't I? What was it? But what was peeing me off all through the game, being honest, was the back passing around the back all the time. All the time. A lovely Myra. I do not like man of the match. It's teamwork that gives a win. Without teamwork, there is no man of the... Yeah. We're being told off by our wonderful lady friend here. But she's right, you know, that's what our lads say, Myra, you know. You know, when you get interviews after the game or, you know, whenever, they say it's all about the team. They do say that. But it's the way we are. We've been like this for many, many years, you know, picking like who stood out as the player. And tonight there was 2 players. You know, they all give the word. What I'm saying is there was 2 there. And that was the lads who scored 2 goals. And the other lads, you know, he couldn't do anything about 2 goals that went against them. But he did save what you called a world-class save couple. And he kept us in the game in the first half as well by coming out and blocking 2 certain goals. So, well, is that all right for you there, Myra? We have drawn Southampton away. Southampton away. Now, this is where Liverpool will get called Lucky Liverpool. See what I mean? So, look who they drew. Not like Arsenal, who did they play? Preston or someone. The red Jew. Back passing side to side can be dangerous at times. Very dangerous. My heart is in my mouth, I'm being honest. What are they doing? Get shot. That's what I say. Get shot. Hi everyone, I'm Frank. Hey, mate. Sorry, Myra. Look, Callum's apologising for naughty words. No, he doesn't swear at Callum. Callum, with a name like Callum, he must be a good Catholic boy. The Anfield. I'll kidnap you, cover you with a winter lot and leave Shauno's dog with you overnight. And I'll cover George's lost Shankly boys in peanut butter to sit alongside you, lad. He's doing a pod now with Sean. Great, isn't it? I don't get invited on the shows. One invites me. Yeah, look, Myra's letting on to Callum and Red too. That's good. Edward, welcome, Myra. Yeah, look, it's great, isn't it? I love all this, you know. Not half made Myra welcome. South African girl, by the way. And the Anfield says, "Hi, Myra. Now I'm coming to South Africa. What are my chances of getting a bit of a shark in the hotel pool? I'm a shallow end swimmer. Will I be okay?" It's the whales you want to look after down there. Darryl says, Arsenal loan to Palace, another easy draw for them. Oh yeah, look at Sean, look, with his peanut butter book and his dog. To set to J, MNX. I hope United give the job to Horseface. Be so funny. Who's Horseface? Van Nistelrooy. Can't be hammering. Myra's answered the Anfield. Oh, the Sharks need to eat too. Shark fin soup. You'll have to get that in Japan, along with. Do you know what? There's a fish in Japan, you know, and if it's not cooked properly by these chefs, you could die. And a few people have actually died at the bar, you know, of these places. These places. I'm not letting Sean on, you know. He's sneaking along there. I can see him, you know. Well, he's waving and he's not coming out. He's too cheeky. He wants to. He's the only guest on any pod that has snoring dogs. That annoys people. There he is, anyway. There's that lad.
Well, how are you?
You're tiny there. You're tiny. What's happened?
I'm actually using my phone. The laptop is charging, or my iPad is charging. So I thought I'd just come on and say hello. You know that you're welcome on the AK.
Come on. I mean, you'd be listening in.
Well, what did you think of that?
Everyone's moaning. I don't know whether oh yeah, they're all calling everyone forever. They want Yaros. He should never play for Liverpool again. Quansah, you know, someone said that Quansah was man of the match along with Jones. You know, so there was a lot of animosity towards some of the players. Jesus,
I don't know. I mean, I'm in all honesty, I'm surprised at the selection.
Yeah,
really surprised at the selection. I know we talked about that last night, but very, very surprised at the selection. But I'm happy in a way, and I'm happy we got the win. Gapco had a fantastic game. I feel sorry for Kwanzaa. I just hope that people online don't give the kid a hard time like they did.
No, they haven't, and that was the good points. We were making good points.
Yeah.
I even come out and said it myself, at the beginning.
Yeah.
He could lose a lot of confidence through it. And why did he take him off with a minute to go?
Yeah.
And bringing on, we all love Connate, but bringing on the fella who replaced him at Ipswich and hasn't looked back since. And he hasn't had a sniff at any of the Premiership games, Kwanzaa, and with a minute to go.
Yeah, no,
I don't know whether you'll agree with this as well. Also, what I said, I thought that Sloot should have left on Gapco for his athlete. I didn't see the reasoning why he took him off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Gapco should have stayed on, unless he's thinking about the weekend. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The dogs are in bed. Whoever messaged or whoever left the thing about the dogs. The dogs are well in bed now at this stage.
Well in bed. You covered them up in the winter.
They will actually give out if, let's say, if I'm in the office and they've gone to bed, they will actually give out. They'll start barking. So I have to leave the room beside them, and as soon as I do, then they stop barking. So it's hilarious. But no, look, I mean, I was happy with the game. I predicted 3-0. Disappointed, obviously, that we conceded the 2 goals. But look, a win is a win, guys.
Everybody's delighted with that, to be honest, Sean.
Yeah.
Everybody's delighted with the win. But it was the ridiculous ways, we gave them 2 goals.
Yeah.
It's terrible defensive mistakes.
It was. But I mean, in saying that, how often did we see that lineup? Do you know what I mean? It must be difficult for that lineup to kind of build up a rapport or a partnership with each other, because they probably would not have played together, all on the same team at the same time. Maybe give or take, maybe in the preseason or whatever. But I think, Anfield Roar. I'm actually doing time at the moment for crimes on chat. So there you go. So I'm in prison. I'm in the cell there. That's what the brick thing. But no, look, giving away 2 goals is never nice. But look, we won the game, so I'm happy. The one thing I wanted to say, Frank, the oh my God, social media today blown up about Amaron going to United.
Yeah.
And people going, Amaron rejected Liverpool and he's taking United on. Are they having a laugh?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah. Whether they will or not, I don't know. Whether he will go to Mad, but I'm not interested in that.
No, neither will. I just wanted to say that. That's all I wanted to say on it. I'm not interested in either. Couldn't care less about Man United. And
well, the point is, you say, if he just go, those fans, not our fans, those fans are going to say, he didn't want to go to Liverpool. You know what I mean? So they'll have a swipe at Liverpool. They'll have a big spin at Liverpool.
They're saying that already, but the funny thing about it is he was rejected by Liverpool. He was also rejected by West Ham.
Yes.
So, that they are the facts, but don't let that get in the way of whatever United fans are trying to push. They're 14th, we're second, so I think we're doing okay with our earnest lot. And I think, obviously, if Amaron had taken over from Jurgen Klopp, he would have massive boots to fill. And I think massive expectations of him. To take on Eric Ten Hag's job, very low expectations at United. I mean, all he has to do is get in the top 10 and he's making an achievement. But he has his work cut out for him, and he doesn't have enough time at that job if he gets us to do it. And I'm just delighted to be a Liverpool supporter, win, lose or draw in either case. But it's great to see, the Manx clutching at straws. That's all I got to say on it.
Well, there's what you think of this comment by Callum? Just saying that. Amarim would have made us a completely different setup. 5 at the back, and that.
Well, who knows? Who knows? I think if I don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy with Arne Slot from how he speaks to media, from tactically how brilliant he is, and how he knows how the opposition are going to lay out. I was very, very surprised with the lineup today. Today I was questioning the lineup. I won't lie to you. To have Diaz play where Salah plays, and Gapco playing where Diaz plays, and then to have Szoboszlai in a Núñez role, I thought was a bit bizarre. But then again, when you don't have much backup, that's what will happen. And for whatever reason, it paid off.
Well, the Red UCs here, I think Slot took off, Kunsera, to waste a bit of time. He could have took anybody off.
Yeah.
He could have took what's his bloody name? Robbo. He could have took Robertson off.
Yeah.
He was having a nightmare, him.
Yeah.
He was having a nightmare of a game. And he could have took him off. That's the way I look at it.
I was a bit disappointed, Frank, to see Quansah been taken off, because the guy needs a bit of confidence. I thought I liked Quansah's reply when Matip got injured. I mean, obviously it was horrible to see Matip getting injured and leave the way he did. But like, his attitude is, well, look, it's unfortunate to see Joel injured, but now it's my time to shine. And I thought, well, fair play to you. That's, a real statement of intent. And, he's a good player. He has a few mistakes in him, like everyone else does. But I would just plead to anyone online that claims that they're a Liverpool fan not to go, off on one and to start slating the guy, like some people did do when he slipped there against United.
Yep.
I don't think any true Liverpool fan does that anyway. But for anyone online,
I don't call them Liverpool fans.
No, I don't either.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at us. We want the best for Liverpool. We want recruitments in January. Yet we get called negative. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. No, I know.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely.
I know. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Like, like I try and kind of add a bit of humor into, any time that I'm involved in any of these streams, Frank. And, but I try and be real as well. I'm not one of these people that conform to the masses and say what I'm being told to say. I've my own free will and my own mind, and I'll state that. And if people disagree with me, they're more than welcome to, challenge me, and maybe I might change my mind. And that's what a civil debate is. But
Well, why do I have you on here?
you love me. because we're former altar boys, and if
That's
you
right,
curse, I get
former
to
altar
bless
boy.
you.
We can bless each other if we swear. Especially by the pages she's looking at. She's the only lady who's on that. Honestly, man, it is. It's great to have her there, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But Reggie, I see your point there to waste time, but to bring Kwanzaa after that mistake, right after that mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think, was it a mistake? I don't know. Was it unlucky? I just thought he was unlucky for their second goal.
He was unlucky for the second, yeah.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, but he should have took someone else. Could have took Diaz off. He scored,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm going to disagree with this immensely. Neil's a very good friend of mine. Every time he comes to see me, he brings me loads of grapes. I'm sure he's got a vineyard in his garden, Sure. Loads of grapes, loads of them. Anyway, he says, it's mad. Klopp was like Shankly. And Slaughter's more like Paisley. Let's hope history repeats itself. Klopp was like Shankly, and you can say that without any hesitation.
Yeah.
Without any trepidation, anything. Point is, Klopp was with us for years. This fella's been with us for 4 months. You can't say Klopp is like Paisley, the greatest manager that Britain has produced. Honestly, you can't.
No. It's too early. I mean, it's
4 months in, Paisley, are you having a laugh, Neil? I think Neil said, no, you've got to say that in about 5 years' time. Really,
At the very least, you can't make any comparisons, Slot and Paisley at all.
If that was been me, I would have said, Shankly, Klopp, it was like Shankly, which he was, he's a part, he's a mirror image. And I always have just said Slot is a quiet person, getting on with the job.
Yeah.
That's all that I would have said. I wouldn't put Paisley's name there.
No. I think the only comparison I made with Slot was that he was like a Dutch Rafa, and I meant by his mannerisms. And I see Neil has just said he meant in his manner. I don't agree with that. I think we have to be careful with comparisons. I think Klopp is a better manager by the looks of it. Slot is slightly different in his management. Might be a little bit colder, I don't know. And Rafa was like that. So, I would have been going back to Kwanzaa, I would have been careful with how he came out of that game tonight.
Well, there you go. You've only got to, you haven't got your bins on, but the Anfield Raw sums what you're saying up there. And he says, he's talking to Reggie. I hope so. Still found it a killer for young Jarrell, to be brought up with a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's all. Like songs for Casey's, Slot was playing the magic box like the Beatles game in pre-season. The Beatles game in pre-season. I can't remember that far back.
I can't remember either. I'm dreadful.
Yeah, not that. I've got a photographic memory, you know, fully enough, but I don't remember that. I don't like pre-seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the majority of the pre-seasons only because of the fact that we had a new head coach, and I wanted to see what he was like, you know.
Well, yeah, the Anfield Roar says here, Red you. Considering last season, Kwanzaa was fantastic.
Yeah, he was, absolutely.
Excuse me. And Red you says, Shauno, you know the toxic fans will already be on their keyboards slaughtering Kwanzaa.
Yeah, they're not fans. They're just toxic people, toxic trolls, who use social media, or anti-social media, as I call it, as a safe haven, and they'll just attack people like Kwanzaa. They love to see these young lads fall flat on their face, or have a bad, you know, a bad game. You know, some of the best players have bad games. I have great faith in Kwanzaa. I think he's a great young talent. I hope we hold on to him, but I do hope that when he has games like that, that we look after him, and that the fans look after him and make sure that, you know, we show him the Liverpool way. You'll never walk alone is more than a song. It's a way of life, and that we don't make him feel unwelcome, or we don't make him feel like he's hated just over, you know, a mistake. The guy didn't go out of his way to do that. No. So, you know.
How about this for a comment? Frank, you was about 50 years old when the original Nosferatu film came out. So you've seen all your fair share of bloodsuckers. But if FSG don't invest, will they be the biggest bloodsuckers of all? They are.
Yeah, absolutely.
The vampires, the worst on there. Everybody. Mr. Dracula.
Well, I mean, anyone that wears leather gloves at any time of the year and doesn't make eye contact with people, it says it all. And I mean, what people are failing to forget is he wouldn't even shake hands with Kenny when we lost that final.
No, he wouldn't. He walked past him.
Walked straight past him.
You see, and that annoyed me so much. And Kenny came back. They sacked him. Then he came back. And I said, well, Kenny doesn't need money. Kenny's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Why would you? I would have just gone in. I would have tried to get myself a season ticket and just, you know, gone the game. That's what I would have done as a Liverpool supporter. But he took a job off him. Yeah,
I wasn't impressed with that, but I certainly, you know, I'll tell you. I mean, I know that King Kenny loves the club, as we all do, and obviously he has a great affiliation with the club. You know, and obviously just, you know, especially with Hillsborough and whatnot as well too. But I think when you take over a club and you disrespect not only the manager there, but a legend of the club, when you're a custodian of this club, if you disrespect someone like that, we as fans should have held them more accountable for that.
Yeah, but we don't, you see.
We don't, because we're led and said by...
I did at the time.
So did I. You know, so did I. I spoke out about it.
You get lambasted.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, these divvies. You... Songs for Casey. That's terrible saying that. Good job, I don't drink. Since fuck it. Anyway, Magic Box. 2 number 10s without a striker. It was a strange one where he put Szoboszlai.
Very strange. Very, very strange. And the way they kind of do out the layout, of when the lineup is called up, you don't know who's playing what or where anyone's position is when they do the lineup. But when I saw on the Sky Sports app, they changed it. They had Gapco where Salah would have played, and they had Diaz where he usually plays, and then Szoboszlai. And I was thinking they're going to put Szoboszlai where Nunes would play or where Jota would play, and it looked so weird. I didn't think Szoboszlai played well there either. Sorry again.
I felt sorry for him. You know, when that was a terrible ball by Gapco, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, he bobbles it.
Yeah.
And he has to bring it under control.
Yeah.
As my mate says, he was texting me, he said he should have, hit it first time.
Yeah.
It could have gone anywhere, to be honest, but he tried to control it, and he hit it. But it was unlucky with the goalkeeper saving it with his foot. I just thought that it was a terrible ball. Instead of just rolling us across the turf there.
Yeah. He just doesn't look. I mean, I think he's a great player. Anyone that I've spoken to about him, he's a great. They all have a lot to say about him. I think he's got great potential. I just think he's not finding that form, and hopefully he'll find it soon. Because football can be cruel. Obviously, when someone decides to play for Liverpool, you want them to succeed. But, football clubs aren't going to give managers time like they gave Fergie back in the day. They're not going to give them that amount of time, to get things right. It's success or nothing. And, with these players, they have to hit the ground running. And that's the cruel part of football. But hopefully he can get it right, and he can get his form back or his confidence back, whatever it takes.
The Anfield. I want to say the two comments he's just made here. Frankie and Shawno, we all know modesty isn't a Dutch person's best trait. But if this fella ever reaches in hurting our academy players, he will get pulled back down to earth quickly. That's one. I'll just say this for Songs 4K. It wasn't great in the first half. It took Gapco to light it up in the second half. Slot wanted the threat from the wingers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now here's the second one. Frankie and Shawno, do you agree centrally a Bobby in this side would be great? I feel centrally we miss a link player and assists maker centrally. What about that?
I think people would probably argue with that and say, well, Nunes is actually, as far as I know, he's the second highest assist with Salah this season, I think.
Yep.
So I saw some stats, so that would kind of prove that Nunes, from assists wise, is doing the job. I think we were saying there last night that there are very few true natural number 9s out there. I think what people are kind of honing in on with Nunes is the fact that he's because of his price tag. So, and tend to kind of forget what else he contributes to in the game. So again, in terms of assists, I think where we're missing assists is probably from Robbo more so, and obviously when we had Mane, but essentially,
I think Robertson tonight got ragged again.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game.
That's 2 games on the bounce. A little speedy winger, he's ragged.
Mm.
He's ragged all over the place. And Songs 4K, and it's a great comment, this. It's a Coutinho we're missing. So Bosley has a good shot from range. I want to see it more. And he does have a good shot from range. He can hit the ball. And he can actually direct the ball into corners, if you know what I mean.
He can. But the problem with that, Frank, and Songs 4K is that with the style of football, the slot way of playing football, it's patient football. So our build-up is very slow. So by the time we get into their half, they can park the bus. So when they're parking the bus, it makes it very difficult for us to, take a shot from outside of the box. I mean, you saw Gapco, at a very, very difficult angle, but it just briefly or just a little bit in the box, take a shot and score 2 goals from it there tonight. And that's fantastic. But certainly it's kind of a dying art form, kind of a midfielder goal like the likes of Gerrard and what have you. Szoboszlai definitely has it in his locker, but I just don't think the style of football that we're playing and that slow, patient football is helping. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, the likes of Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, they scored some goals from midfield.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, there was no one like him.
And as Callum says there, excuse me, from the last 9 years, 2 players I'd love in this squad would be Phil and Fabinho. Fabinho in his peak, fantastic. And Phil, is that Phil Coutinho?
I think Coutinho in his time at Liverpool was amazing. I think Barcelona he was okay for the first season. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Then he died a death. Then really, I don't think he's been the same player.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame. He'd still be playing today, Coutinho, for us.
Oh, without a doubt. But
I agree.
But the money was too good, Frank. The money was too good. The money we got for him was way too good to turn it down.
Yeah.
And what we did with that money was a game changer.
Transform.
Yeah.
To what we achieved in the end. But the likes of Phil Coutinho, yes, we do miss. I go along with Songs 4K and Callum, Fabinho and Phil on this side here. Yeah, totally.
We definitely need one of those kind of midfielders that can kind of turn a defense inside out with the runs into the box, but I don't think we really have that. I think Szoboszlai, maybe if he gets some confidence in him, maybe we might see that, but I don't know.
I feel sorry for him sometimes, though.
I do. I feel sorry for him as well. I feel sorry for Nunes as well. And
Nunes, he never got a kick tonight, really, did he?
No, he didn't.
So some fans, as you know, will be going on about him.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I know that I had joked on one of our streams about how many times would he get caught offside, but he
took offence. He thought
so. Yeah. Well, no, and I mean that's okay. That's their prerogative, and I respect that. But again, it's my sense of humor. I want to see Nunes do well. Of course I want to see Nunes do well. It frustrates me that he gets cut.
Everyone who puts a red shirt on,
absolutely,
whether he's a fringe player or what, I want to see do well.
Yeah,
but you can come under criticism. Now, there'll be a big diverse, scenario over there. Come on, sir, simply because we feel sorry for him. We thought he was unlucky. We were saying, he should never have been taken off with a bloody minute to go. Should never have done. And you can imagine that lad coming off. Now he's got a family, he's got a mum and dad there, look and say, why is he taking them off? Do you understand?
Oh, yeah, no. And that's like when we were doing the watch along now, unfortunately, the watch along, we had, it was Martin, myself, and Adam. Martin's stream was ahead of all of us. So I was.
Yeah.
So I was like literally, I mean, just catching the back end of everything. But I mean, we all came to the conclusion that it was really difficult to see Kwanzaa leaving, been taken off, the attention obviously on him, the cameras on him. I mean, it's bad enough that when you can see the goal, that the camera will hone in on the player that they believe is responsible. That's horrible in itself, right? But it's also horrible then when the player gets taken off with a minute to go and he has to make that walk up to the sideline and come off, and the camera's honing in on that. And it's horrible. So I'm hoping that whatever Arne is doing between now and the next game, that he's looking after Kwanzaa, whatever man management skills that he uses, and he's just making sure that he's all right and that he doesn't take it personally. He just looks at what he could have done better, what he could have done different, and that he learns from it and he moves on. But like I said, maybe take a week off social media, because social media is a cesspit for these people that will attack the young lad, and that's what I worry about.
He can come on this. He can have a look at our particular pod, and he won't find any sort of.
Absolutely, and again, the same with AKM LFC. We were that was the concern that we all had, was that this was going to start up again for him,
Well, the likes of I was talking to Jay, MNX. He was on the phone to me at half time. No, I didn't know. It's only what you said before, right? So I'm on the phone to him, and once he starts talking, he never stops. He's like the slide. So, and I'm like that, I just want to watch the game. Anyway, I went like that. Gapco scored, and I went, get in, great goal, whatever I said. And the next, he goes, did you see that goal? I said, I've just told you he's behind me. I said, I've just told you.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm saying, But as Callum says, 142 mil for Phil, that was ridiculous. You wouldn't go for it.
Crazy money.
And
Crazy money.
That's why they're skint now. Callum says, Szoboszlai isn't our Phil. I like this. He's our new Lallana presser machine. Because he does, doesn't he? There.
Man, I was gutted to see Lallana and his interview about leaving Liverpool. Oh my God, it was heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching.
Never seen it.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a video when Jurgen was leaving, and Lallana was talking about his lack of confidence.
Yeah.
But he was a good out player for us when he was fit. Absolutely.
At his peak, he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was.
He really was. And he couldn't half beat a man as well.
Absolutely.
He has an eye as well for a great pass, an unusual pass. Just imagine having him at his feet. Or, as Callum said, Coutinho and Fabinho.
Jesus. I don't think we realised until they're gone at times, you know, because you look at videos and footage of him, Coutinho, and what he did, and it's like, what the hell? Like, unbelievable pace.
Well, I was at a game, I think it was against West Brom with this fella. Mate of mine, he's a mate of mine. But it was the first time that I ever went to a game with him.
Right.
You know, he was with me. Anyway, he was sitting there. And do you ever remember, it was against West Brom. And it was when Suarez scored from outside the 18-yard box with an header. And header, right? And I said exactly, now there's two things, but, you know, just bear me out on this. I said to John, I said, you're just watching a legend here. You're watching a legend. Never forget this fella, and we will forget him. And he said, oh, he'll be off, won't he? I said, yeah, the owners will sell him no matter what. He's sold. Anyway, and I was again watching a game. I forget who it was with. But anyway, a couple of lads. And I said, just imagine what we're watching here. And it was Bobby, it was Salah, and it was Manning. I said, you'll never see another three like these playing in any team again.
No.
And boy, was I right.
You were right, absolutely. That was some lineup. Some lineup.
I always remember the Manchester City player. Forget his name. He's one of the backs anyway, you know. I think he went to Newcastle afterwards. And he came off at the end of the game and went, those three are so quick. You don't know where you are with them. So quick.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I forget his name. You'd know him, you know what I mean, if it says his name. Foreigner. Wasn't like a fella named Smith or Jones.
No.
Brilliant.
No. It was incredible.
And as Callum says, Lallana said he was insecure and Klopp made him comfortable.
Yeah.
I think you'd say that.
Klopp was very taken back by it. Really, really was. It's of all of the tributes that was passed or made about him, he was taken aback. I mean, he nearly broke down looking at that. You know.
Oh, lads are great, aren't they? Just that light. That header was ridiculous. Absolutely, it was. You know, he's talking about the thing. Now look at this. Zinchenko said it, I think.
Yeah. That's it.
You ever remember? I don't know whether it was over there in the Republic. There was a cracking advertisement. I forget what it was for, to be honest. And you see a manager in the dressing room, and he's talking. It must be like half time or something, and he's talking away. And he's got this young fella behind him, you know, and he's standing there, the young fella. And he turns around. All the players were sitting down. You know, you could see that they were all different nationalities, and he's sitting down. So the manager turns around to this fella at the background, and he said, will you tell them that? And he went, "Keh."
I've seen that, yeah.
Keh.
I've seen that.
Brilliant. Whoever came up with that, you know. I still get me little, you know, when I think about it, I still have a little giggle, you know.
Oh yeah, you have to. I mean, like some of the stuff from Paddy Power is hilarious. Like, I was laughing to myself there yesterday with some of the stuff that were going on about Man United, saying that Man United's form is like a Welsh town, DDDWLLs. Oh, but it was so funny.
I was, you know, where I grew up in tenements.
Yeah.
And one of the neighbours down there, right, you know, these were my uncles, like, you know. And anyway, my uncle was standing on the land, and this other fella, who was around my uncle's age, I was off here, my young lad, through this. He went like, hey, Frank. And he went, well, you know, his name was Frank, my Uncle Frankie. And he went, have you got an egg? And he said, what for? He said, I just feel like an egg. And he went, yeah, hang on. And he went, sure, he got an egg. And he went, catch. It's on there. He said, why did you catch it? He said, I never had my glasses on.
Oh, that's funny.
Just mad things like that.
Yeah.
Putting all this in my memoirs, you know, like memoirs.
Oh, you should definitely write a book.
Some mad things, honestly, some mad things.
Oh, Frank, you definitely should. Definitely should.
It's like we were going out one night and through this. There was some, like, you know, young kids, and they were devils. They really were devils. And they used to put water and soot, you know, in a bag.
Yeah.
And hold it like that. And anyway, one of the lads were like, are we ready to go? And he was all dressed, he looked immaculate. And we went like that. No, just hang on a minute, because we were underneath the arch, you know, so anyway, walked through the arch. All over.
Oh, God.
You know, things like that.
Oh, the stuff you used to get up to, I'll tell you. Honest to God. Oh, I swear. There
are some of the things. So listen, you won't be able to make it on. Are you coming on tomorrow night?
I won't. No, I actually, believe it or believe it not, Frank, for the first time in over 35 years, I'm going to be going and I'm going to be trick-or-treating with my cousin's kids.
Oh, you dressed up, yeah.
I am dressed up. My cousin's dad, he's from Hungary, and he goes back and forth to Hungary because he has a business there. So I'm going to go over there and basically be the big cousin and go out trick-or-treating.
Do you know anything about Substitutions?
He doesn't, but I've spoken to. As I said, I have another Hungarian friend that I work with, and he's constantly talking about Szoboszlai, and he knows quite a bit about him, and he says that he's a great player and that we should stick with him, and you know, just have a little bit of faith in him. Even like anytime he has a bad game, he says, Sean, Szoboszlai didn't play well. I says, no, but look, you know, we have faith in him. And, you know, he keeps saying he'll come good. He's a great player. He's a great player. So, you know, that's all we can do. We just stick by the players that we have and, you know, review the situation at the end of the season. But I definitely think, Frank, we need some reinforcement in January. But we know where that's going to go.
Have you got any fangs for tomorrow?
No, I can't give away what I'm dressing as because my cousin's kid doesn't know. I know what he's dressing as, but when I go Halloween, I go all out. Let's put it that way. And there was one year that I went into work dressed as Donald Trump, and I won a 200 quid voucher. So I go all out. Now, I didn't wear a Donald Trump costume because I'm a fan of his. It's anything but I do it. I do an impression of him, and people were taking pictures of me, and I was like, "We're going to make a great big wall in China," and you know, doing the whole impression thing. And I was answering the phone with the Donald Trump hat or mask on me and the cap and the, you know, MAGA, whatever. I go all out. So I do when the opportunity arises and there's a Halloween party or whatever. I have more time for that than I do Christmas, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Very rare I go out Christmas now.
No,
I take my daughter for a drink every Christmas Eve. I have been since she was 17.
Yeah.
I take it out every Christmas Eve, which is great, you know what I mean? Trump, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he's the only man who can stop what's going on today. He's the only man.
I don't know. I think their views are very similar. I think it's there's certain things I agree with him on, and a lot of things I don't agree with him on, and I think it's picking one of the one of the lesser evils, and there's a very thin line between all of them.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
you know the way the Americans are. You know, I go back to the First World War.
mm,
I really do. You know, people say, "Well, what about the Spanish-American War?" Yeah, I could go back to that because they wanted to start to build an empire then after the American Civil War, Spanish War. But it was the First World War. I'll be talking about it on Friday, actually. What the plans were. American plans, and why they didn't come in when we said, "Do you want to help us?" You see what I mean? Even the
yeah.
you know, the Lusitania when that was sunk, and it was shocking because Churchill wanted them to come in, and they said no because they were doing something which I'll explain on Friday, which has got them where they are today, but they're sinking today. They're like the Titanic. They're like the Titanic. So, what about these lads for the back four?
I think that's the best back four you'll get ever. I'd play them. I'd play them, so I would for the weekend anyway. That's for sure.
Well, see this fella here. You know him.
Oh, sure, of course I do. Yeah, I put the captain's armband on him, especially.
Well, he's the Phil Cortino, isn't he? Well, that's what Callum was saying. You know, we need him. We need someone.
I thought you were going to say the Phil Collins there.
You know, I'll be back. I'll be back.
That's a great picture, though. It really is.
It is, isn't it? I
love
it.
Stuff like that.
As the Reggie says, Trump's my guy, MAGA. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, Reg. I'm not a big fan of Camilla Harris. I'm not a big fan of Biden either. I'm not a big fan of any of them.
No, see what Trump's come out and he's just said it now. He said, "I'm stopping the war." He phoned Netanyahu up. He said, "You better have this war stopped by now."
Well, then if that's the case,
stopped. And he said the same to Zelensky.
Yeah. But if that's the case,
before I get into office, because he knows he's getting in anyway by a landslide.
If that's the case, if he's against, what Benjamin Netanyahu's doing over in Israel, well, then I'm all for him. Because I know Camilla Harris keeps talking about the hostages. Benjamin Netanyahu has probably blown them to kingdom come.
Yes.
With the carpet bombing in Gaza. So, I mean, that's all absolute total BS. And I think if you're going to, you're getting me into a conversation that's a very fully loaded one and something I'm very highly opinionated on, Frank.
So am I. But it's not someone said to me once, "Oh, you're very opinionated." I said, "No, I'm telling the truth."
Yeah.
It's not opinionated, like what I think.
Yeah.
I'm just expressing the truth, what I see with my own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There, 14-year-old girl burnt to death.
Yeah.
With American missiles. Yesterday, day before evening.
Well, what I was going to say is if they're putting Benjamin Netanyahu in the IDF for war crimes, they also then need to see who's also complicit in those war crimes, and that goes for the US and that goes for the UK, and they have got to be held accountable for it. It's their weapons that are bombing these poor unfortunate people, and it didn't happen. It didn't just happen after October the 7th.
Of course, it didn't.
So that's a load of codswallop. And, you know, if Trump is saying that he's against Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel and the IDF, then actually he's got my vote backing and voting on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because it's like there's a lad here. I'm sorry to go off football, people. I really am. The thing is, I was watching this Owen Jones fella. And he says all the right things about Gaza. He really does. He's one of the journalists he is. And then one day he just went on about Russia and the evils of Putin. And I went, whoa. He hasn't been looking properly. He hasn't been looking at history, from 2008. The Minsk agreements, two of the Minsk agreements. You know what I mean? And the Maidan 2014 coup d'etat by Victoria Nuland. And that's Sikorsky, that Pole. And you've got them all talking now. Oh, there's North Korean troops in Kursk. Kursk is Russia.
Well, I think
it's fucking Ukraine. Some of them. And they're in Kursk. What are they doing in Kursk? They've just trapped and killed, unfortunately. I don't like using the word killed. But there's lots of dead of American, Polish, British, and French troops. They surrounded them. They say, give up. They say surrender. They don't. Well, that's the outcome. That's the consequences.
Well, the one thing I'd say, Frank, is that it's amazing how people can kind of twist things to suit their narrative. The Americans go on about Russia and they make the Russians like the worst, whatever. But I remember there was a comment that the great actor Paul Newman had made, I think in the early 80s or late 70s, where he was saying that Israel had shot down a plane that went into their airspace, and there was very little condemnation regarding it when it went to the UN or the all the nations had voted about it. The Americans abstained to vote. They didn't make a vote.
Who wrote the UN? Who wrote? It's all right having these nice little foreign names, as chairman and whatever, leader. It's America. America runs the NATO. America,
of course they do. But NATO. My comment was that, or his comment was, but when the Russians did the exact same thing and bombed a plane, this was in 1979 or 8 or whatever, they took down a plane. Absolute holy uproar happened.
Yeah.
So why was it okay for Israel to do it, but not okay for Russia to do it?
Exactly.
So, and with regards to Red Jew, Hamas needs to be stopped as well. There would not be a Hamas if there was the illegal occupation of Palestine and the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. So it's the same with, Irish history and the occupation of Ireland, and the Ulster plantation and what have you. There would not have been an uproar. There would not have been, violence or guns or anything like that if there hadn't been, the 700 or 800 years of what went on in Ireland. With Palestine, this has been going on for 76 years, as Callum said. So, when you back people into a corner and you tell them, well, you have to go here, and then you bomb the effing shit out of that place, then they are going to be angry and they are going to stand up. So, you know,
Hamas was financed by Israel.
of course it
Did you know
was.
that? They were financing
Of
Hamas.
course it was.
They became the political wing. If anyone's being sniped and everything else, you know, people are going to go up to them and say, what are you going to do? It's like, you know, if anything goes wrong here somewhere in Liverpool, you know, like say like the sewers collapsed, we go to our MP and say, listen, you better get onto this. Because something's being done, get onto the council to fix this. That's what we do. So that's why, you know, people must have gone to them and said, listen, what are you doing? Nothing's happening. That girl, that 20-year-old niece, waving a white flag. And you hear the audio of two Israeli snipers. IDF, obviously. And I'm going back a couple of years ago, by the way. Not like now. And she went to this wounded kid who'd been shot in the leg by a sniper. And it was to draw people into him. And that girl, nurse, through the head.
There was only an incident there recently, Frank, where the exact same situation, a young person had been shot or badly wounded, and a group of Palestinian people tried to protect this person, tried to drag the person to safety, and what did they fucking do? Pardon my language. They bombed the crap out of them.
Of course they did.
They bombed the crap out of them. Now, if you tell me that is their right of defending themselves, you are having a laugh. And I guarantee those who are on the side of Israel for whatever reason, whether it's like if they are on the side of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu and the IDF based off religion, then they've lost full meaning of what religion actually means. It doesn't. It's not. It's love thy neighbor. It's not carpet bomb thy neighbor, and that's what's happening. It's ethnic cleansing. It is the biggest. It's horrific, and you know, for people would side on the side of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu and say, I'm not well versed or I'm brainwashed into what the West are telling me and mainstream, whatever. You're the guys that bloody got rid of the journalist or killed journalists. And it's all well and good for you to blame the West on what they're feeding out, but you're the same guys that go to a U.S. Senate and say, if you give us the tools, this will be over quickly. So, like, make up your goddamn mind. It's a genocide, and that's it. And if there is a hell, Benjamin Netanyahu has a VIP seat in it.
Well, the red juice says there, Hamas needs to be stopped as well. But if you stop Hamas, that's just given Israel to do what they want to do and just take the whole of Gaza to go and right into Israel, into Syria, to go right through Lebanon, to go right through Jordan, to go right through Saudi and the likes of Iraq and Iran, right down to the waters of Yemen. That's what Hamas is stopping them.
Well, I mean, look at their plans for the greater Israel. They're looking to take parts of Egypt and parts of Lebanon, and you know,
they want to go through swathes of it. That's what they want, because that Smotrich or somewhere, whatever his bloody name is.
Yeah,
he said God has promised this land.
Has he fuck? Don, I'm very, very sorry to hear about your partner.
Yeah.
Don Fairclough has left a message there.
I'm sorry that don't fall out, because we got a different opinion on us.
No.
What I say on the politics side, I'm just caring about genocidal, what's going on there. And it is genocide to ordinary Palestinian people, not just people, but babies, hours old, to old people who've lived through this for 70 odd years. Songs for sectarian partition plans haven't worked well in Ireland, India, or Palestine. Absolutely. No. I've always said, I joke with one of the lads who come on here now and again. He lives down in Gibraltar. I say,
yeah.
Give Gibraltar back to the Spanish. It's like give the Falklands back to Argentina. It's like make Ireland full island.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. What right? There was a lad talking in the press conference of the White House, and this fella named Matthew Miller came out. Looks like Dracula. He'd be great tomorrow night, him. This fella, he does look like Dracula. That's how you pronounce it, Dracula. Right, he looks like him. And do you know how you say Cleopatra, by the way? Do you know what the proper pronunciation is?
Not a clue.
And don't forget, I had a hard time trying to say Subozlai. How do you say this? It's Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. God, I can't even.
Yeah, Cleopatra. Honestly, that's you properly pronounce it.
Oh, wow.
I've only ever heard one fella, an American, who was one of these, he was like Indiana Jones, finding things. I was made up with him. Anyway, he said about Cleopatra. I went, wow. He said, the only one I've ever heard, besides my old professor, years ago.
Cleopatra.
Anyway, the Red says Trump gave billions to black community. He helped the black colleges, less black unemployment, and more employment, the highest in history, also under Trump. Yes.
I don't know whether that was off the back of the oh my God, who was the president before him? I can't think. Oh my God, I can't think. Who was the president before Trump? I can't think.
Who's the president before Trump?
No, before Trump.
Was it Obama?
Obama, sorry. I think that was off the backs of Obama and what he brought in. I'm not too sure whether Trump did anything for the black community. If I'm honest with you.
Obama. That is it's Obama.
I don't know, but I don't think Trump did anything.
I'm going to show now. You've got to go back to W. Bush, right? And the Hurricane Katrina. I just bit my tongue.
I hate when that
Hurricane
happens.
Katrina.
Yeah.
Right, Hurricane Katrina. That happened in 2004, 2005. That hit New Orleans.
Yeah.
There are people still homeless.
Yeah. He did
20 years ago, still homeless.
Yeah.
And there's Obama, and they were the majority, 99% of them were black.
Yeah.
Did he help them? No.
No, he didn't.
No. Any of them? No. I want to get this here. Hi, everyone. Not being on here for a while. I lost my partner a 2.5 months old. It was the Rothschilds family that made Israel kill.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Is that Kieran that lost his partner Don?
Yeah,
I think that's what, because he's signing it on or The message is from Kieran, I think.
Oh, that's from that's from
Don. So Don
yeah.
is the partner that passed away. I'm very sorry to hear that, Kieran. That's
Kieran.
horrible.
Oh, that's right. The lad, he comes on Jones. No, that's right.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
He used a thing, didn't he? You know, how would he get on? I'm so sorry, Kieran. Kieran, yes, sorry,
Look
mate.
after yourself, mate. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too, and all the lads on here, you know, everyone. We're all mad, you know, mad reds. We can say anything. You know. I have a film and TV review that goes into football and what's going on everywhere else, and a couple of films gets mentioned. So anything goes on these pods. The Red Black Democrats, mainly men, are backing Trump because all their life their communities have been run and destroyed by the Democrats, and now realise, of course, the Democrats. Nothing's like it was when JFK and RFK, you know, that was the Democratic Party then. It's all changed now. You've got the likes of one of the most corrupt presidents ever in that, Joe Biden and his son, Hunter. Corrupt. They should be in jail, a pair of them. And I'm not just talking for war crimes, by the way. They should be in jail for corruption. Shocking. He got $1 billion or something, whatever it was. He said, he's on film saying it while he was in Iraq, not Iraq, fucking hell. I'm losing it, honest to God. Anyway, he said, sack the prosecutor. Because the prosecutor was all over, you know, about something in Ukraine. And he said, sack him. And you won't get you won't get the money. It got sacked. But he got a load of money anyway. It's wrong. It's fucking wrong. Callum says uneducated people usually have no teeth. You two, defo, have teeth.
I appreciate that, Callum.
Thanks, Callum.
I had to read that about a few times to figure out what he was saying there. Fair play, Callum. Thank you.
Kieran says songs for Kay. Hope it's good season to raise your spirits. Rip, don't flinch. Don't fair club.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah. And the Red Jew, Obama did nothing for the black communities. Just ask the black people. That's what they are telling me. A lot of black men now hate Obama. I've never liked Obama, whether he was black, white, pink, whatever, because skin colour doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? And Obama came on. I knew he was an oligarch. I knew he was a neoconservative. I knew he worked for the deep state. And he's carrying it on. Kamala Harris, she's a big phony. She's a liar. She tried to discourage her own ethnicity by saying that she had a black grandmother and a Jamaican whatever and all this. And it was all lies to try and get the black vote. And people seen through it. People seen right through it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've no interest in it anymore. I used to, but I think you know, going on what Red Jew and you've said, you know, it's disheartening. I mean, like even the gun laws over there. Each and every time there's a shooting in a school or whatever, it's like all thoughts and prayers go out, whatever. But we're keeping our guns. I just find the whole thing a joke and insincere. politics in general, I'm not a massive fan of. I have very little faith in anyone that calls himself a politician. There are some good people out there that do voluntary work and work within their community, but you don't get many of them out there that don't do it for a political gain. So that's my 2 cents on it. But the Americans, you can't be on any moral high ground and yet fund or arm and aid a genocide.
Well, I've never seen genocide in my life. I've read about it. I've lectured about it. I've done everything.
Mm.
There was lots of genocide in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say in one of my lectures when I did the island thing, and I said, one statue you'll never find up in Dublin is that of Cromwell, because he had written genocide. He wanted to wipe out all the Irish.
Of course he did, yeah. And
he gave General Mahon, because he killed more Irishmen, 9,000 acres of Strokestown, one of the most fertile grounds on the planet, fields, Strokestown. And that's where the potato famine started.
Mm-hmm.
And as George Bernard Shaw said, how could there be a famine when the country was full of food?
Yeah, it was a genocide.
Of course it was.
An absolute genocide. And I mean, there's very little talk about that. I mean,
we can't say that, you see. We can't say there was a genocide in Ireland. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know you can, but we sure as fuck can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wish you would have seen my old professor,
Yeah.
He'd be well dead now, to be honest. He's the only president who didn't take his wages but give it all to charities. Trump. Yeah, he didn't take any.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
I've never heard of that. But he certainly doesn't need it.
The Red Jew. MSM does the dirty on Trump. Don't believe what you read. Ask the people. Spot on. Well done.
I don't go on what mainstream media puts out there, because in my country, our government are bailing out our national broadcaster. So who do you think they're going to be supporting? So.
And the Red Jew, did you know Black Kamala's mother worked for the MK Ultra? Wouldn't surprise me. She's Indian. Shocking. I always remember me Uncle Frankie and, telling me about, WAPs. This is when I was a kid. You were a kid, about 12. About WAPs and what it meant, and how the WAPs, he said, fought back against the labelling of WAPs. Because it went from without passports, without papers, to, criminalising everyone with a label on the, on the coat. Told me all about it, and that's why I took that up. When I was at uni, took it all up. And the Irish, by the way. The Irish. And Callum. I think he's changed tactic. Happy Halloween. It's like Halloween, though.
It is Happy Halloween. Yeah, I better start putting on my costume.
Look at it, Yusuf. Pick at least.
Absolutely, Yusuf.
And the Red Jew, yeah, of course, the other presidents took the money through, although they never needed. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She wasn't president, like, but she should be in jail.
She
You have
scares me.
a lot of them. Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Oh, jeez. Save me. The songs for Kay. Kamala's always hiding behind a facade. Her laugh along, kills me. With me, routine is pitiful. Yeah. Did you see her? She was like last night, yesterday, or whenever it was, in America. She had all these people, this crowd, and they were all going, hey, and she went, get onto this. I want you to shout out your names. And it all went quiet. That fucked her up. You'll have to bless me. That messed her up. Sure. Could you imagine all these people shout, John, Joey, Fab, Joe, all at the same time?
It's just it's so cheesy, and I don't watch, like, read you haven't watched any mainstream media or read a newspaper in 9 years. I'd probably go so far as saying that I haven't read a newspaper probably.
Do you know how long
longer?
You're saying that 9 years, which is a long time. How about me? And I go back to the 15th of April, 1989.
You haven't read it since then. I don't blame you.
I don't mean just one newspaper. I mean a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I don't read newspapers. I'd safe to say it's well over 9 years, if I'm honest. Mainstream media, I flick through that like I would swipe on Tinder and Bumble. I take it or leave it, and I make my own opinion.
Isn't that a brilliant comment by the Red Jew there? Sure, no. I haven't watched any mainstream media. Me too. Read a paper for nearly 9 years. But if you're willing to look for the truth is out there once
Absolutely.
You get rid of the rubble.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Like, the truth used to be mainstream, and now it's on the fringe, and it's very difficult for people, especially gullible people. Unfortunately, back in the day, people used to only get 2 channels, and that was the main broadcaster, and the main broadcaster is funded by the government, so they have a say, and they will try and discredit any opposition party. So I know what I'm getting with my national broadcaster, and I know not to tune into them for any sort of information on who is what and what is who. I make my mind up on how I feel about something. And in terms of politics in here, in this country, unfortunately, there's a lot of party politics. Like, for example, if my father's father voted a certain party, then I should, and my children after me. And that's not the case for me. I'm totally against the party that my father supports, and I believe that the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting different outcomes. And we've had the same party over the last 100 and odd year, since the state was formed. We've had the same parties in, so it's time for a change in this country completely.
I wish you'd come on Friday with me.
I might be able to, Frank, because
this is all about what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, I might be able to.
Just let me read these out, because
sure,
I think it'd be, beneficial. Cozy False 9. Look at a Cozy False 9. Right. Yeah, I'm based in Pennsylvania, and I'm not sure if I'm voting Trump or not yet. And he carries on by saying, Because I like his character, but not his policy of tax cuts for the rich. What you've got to look at, Cody, you know, I'm English, as you know, and, you know, anyway, I'm sitting here and I'd vote Trump. I'm being honest. He's the only one that won't keep, escalation over in Ukraine and the Middle East. He wants to stop it, and he will stop them. I'm telling you now. And that will save you as a taxpayer a lot of expense, because your taxpayers is going to, for arms and everything else, billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel. And you won't have to pay for any of that then. So it'll be more money in your pockets. Believe you me, it will be. And Trump is the only one who'll stop it. He is the only one. Kamala Harris, no chance. The neocons have got her like this, and the deep state. She's a puppet. If you can't see that, you're an American, you're from Pennsylvania. You've got to look at the bigger picture. They forced her in. She got in to run as the president without one vote. What's that telling you? Where's the democracy there? You know, ordinary people who wouldn't have voted her in. I'm telling you now, to run for presidency.
But sure, look at your own democracy. Look at the Boris Johnson. You know, I mean, he didn't get voted in.
Well, Darwin the goat, I'd still vote Kamala over Trump because he's full of bigotry. Well, there you go. You know, there's different opinions. And I don't like the way he speaks of immigrants who made the US. No, the immigrants who made the US there then were Europeans. That's who it was, the Europeans.
Or Irish.
Yeah, of course. You had the Chinese, they built your, the railway, your railway system. After here in Liverpool invented the railway system, by the way. Hope you know that. I hope you've got that, Darwin. I hope you've got that. Liverpool made the very first passenger railway system in the entire world. We made the very first dock system in the entire world when it opens its gates in 1715, the very first passenger railway system in 1830. So you got all the Chinese over there to open the way to the west from the east. So that's who made America. Not this illegals coming over the border to vote there for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Not their illegals, them, mate. South Americans and others. I think I'll get me fare over to Mexico and go through with them, become a national, a nationalized American and vote for Trump. I'm sorry about that, Darwin. Don't shoot the messenger, please. Liverpool videos. I think I'd vote for Trump if I was an American because he said he'd avoid the war. Absolutely. He said it. He only said in the last 24 hours what he's going to do. And he will. We've got to stop these wars before we have a nuclear one.
Gets out of hands. Yeah. North Korea, I think, have gone into Russia, have they?
Yeah. And the videos between Russia and Ukraine because he's friends with Putin. It's look. I'm an ex-lecturer, right? And I specialise in Ireland, believe it or not. I specialise in the French Revolution. I specialise in Napoleonic Wars, right? I specialise in the First World War. So this is all my specialities. And obviously the English Civil War. And I know a lot about the American Civil War, and especially the American War of Independence and what that was all about. So Liverpool videos, honestly, you know, take that away. He's friends with Putin. He's being demonized already by being friends with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, Xi Jinping of China, and I can't pronounce the leader of Iran. So he's friends with him as well. Have you not noticed? America, they make the axes up, the axis of evil.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea, Iran, China, Russia, they're the evil, the axis.
But not
I'm,
Israel.
I'm going to tell you something here, Liverpool videos, and you, Cody, and Darwin, you know, that Darwin lad. I'll tell you something now. All this, what you've got in the Middle East and in Ukraine and in African countries as well, has been planned by America for years. And they did it. They did it. And it was to destabilize the Middle East. Then they couldn't like go and bomb, really, Europe. They couldn't bomb them.
Mm-hmm.
But how they were going to destabilize it was by the mass migration of the Middle Eastern people into Europe and African people into Europe. And look what they've done. They've done it successfully. They've destabilized Europe. Incredible what they've done. And that's all through covert operations by the CIA. Oh, and the MI6, by the way. You know, I'm not saying this country are free from any skullduggery indeed.
Definitely not.
So I do know what I'm bloody well talking about, to be honest. And he carries on by saying, and he also would avoid disaster in Gaza with how he got the money. Oh. If you're Liverpool videos, that's a load of bollocks. It's a load of bollocks. What would you want the money from Iran for? Come on, you're reading too much propaganda. That's pathetic. Honest Liverpool videos, honest. The Citizens United case sold US democracy to donors. Yeah. That's a crack. And I read you, sheeple will say what they are told to say and believe.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I'm going to finish on this one here. Please let me. And it's on what? Hang on. I think there's a little. I'm not going to finish on this one. And it's what Darwin the goat says. Plus, sorry, I don't think a woman would be ready to run the biggest job in the world yet. Do you mean running Israel? Because Israel run you. If you can't see how Israel doesn't run America. Israel are saying to the mighty America, you do as we say.
Should they? I mean, that's what Benjamin Netanyahu did in the US Senate.
Yeah, and he got 56, 57 stands on ovations. What about that Juncker in the Canadian Parliament?
Mm.
He got all those, and Russia said, we want him. Get him over here now. No matter what age he is. They wouldn't allow him to go. He was a Nazi. Photographs of him in his Nazi uniform. Juncker. Right, I'm just going to... Right, where is he? I'm going to ask you this. How important do you guys think voting is, says Cody Faulkner?
Jesus Christ. the most important thing that you're ever likely to do. The future is in your hands. You pick who represents you. And if you are just one of these people that sit and complain online about the current state that your country's in and don't exercise the right to vote, you're part of the problem. I don't get people deciding, I won't vote. You know.
Cody, I won't even answer that. I won't even answer it. That's how important it is. Especially American. Especially American. If you want to see, I'm not trying to persuade you or the Darwin the goat who to vote for. You know, you're Liverpool supporters. We embrace our Liverpool supporters. We love you, you know what I mean? We just talk football. But when this comes up now and again, but we're not trying to persuade you to vote for Trump or Harris. But as us, we looking in, we're on the outside looking in. And we're telling you, I'm nowhere sexist, by the way. I'm no sexist in any shape or form. But I wouldn't like to see Kamala Harris become a president of the United States. I really wouldn't. It's like when Liz Truss and Margaret Thatcher, and they were prime ministers, absolute lunatic.
I think we need to get away from this token votes. First black president, first woman president. Look at the policies. Look at what they're saying. If that represents you, go for it.
She has no policies. The deep state has their policies all wrapped up, ready to go in a big silver platter.
No, I know what you're saying, Frank, but what I'm saying in general,
yeah,
don't go for token votes.
Exactly.
Make an educated decision on who you're voting for. Study it, and don't use mainstream media to study it.
But she's got no policies. They ask her, and she's got none. She's got the same policies now as what Joe Biden. She's vice president, for God's sake. And she's been going along every step of the way for the last 4 years nearly.
I haven't heard anything from her, to be honest with you. Not a thing.
I think she's do you ever remember Trump's Vice President, Mike Pence? Now, he used to say a lot of things. He was always on the telly giving his pen a thing. He useless, but whatever he was saying. You never heard of this. What did you heard of it? Coming on and saying it because she can't talk.
When she goes on about the hostages, that's the first thing she mentions.
Yeah, the hostages. Where are they? They're all dead.
They're fucking bombed to shit.
Of course they are, by the IDF, by the way.
By the IDF.
And the Red Chief says, Liverpool video, Trump is the only one in my mind. And so, Frank, would you vote for Trump? Says the false nine. Well, what do you think? What do you think, Cody? What do you think, mate? Because I'm leaning toward Cody. You've got to. You have to. You have to. Look, when he says he was defeated by the last time he fought, and he said he was defeated by cheating and getting rigged and everything else, I didn't believe him.
I don't believe it. I didn't believe him there myself.
But now I do. Now I do believe him, because I didn't realise how corrupt Joe Biden and the Democrats were, honestly. And that's me looking in. We see a lot what's going on. And I'm not talking about the media. I'm not talking about the mainstream Western media. You know, there's other media, there's other journalists who are actually telling the truth. And the red juice says, no war under President Trump. If anyone who can stop it, it is Trump. Look at Trump. There you go. And we're from here. We're from here. Look at that. We've got all the Americans on. We've got all the Americans on. Listen, lads, and you know, it's dead late here. It's after midnight. It's after midnight, and it's nearly half past midnight. And poor Sean there, he has to put his costume on.
I've to plug in my phone because my battery is about to go. So if I get cut off, it's not because I'm not interested.
No, I know. But listen, try and join me. I'll finish.
I will
now.
because to be honest with you, Frank, I thought I was needed on Monday. On Friday, and I'm not. So thankfully, I should be able to come on Friday.
That's brilliant, that, because you know, I don't know whether I'll be on my own, but it'll be great to have hear another voice. The same voice.
But I know whether I can. Oh, here's the dogs again. Whether I can give a educated one, because there's a lot of stuff that you've talked about that I wouldn't know myself. But
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you talk about as well that I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I suppose now to be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that I used to be great at Irish history. I used to be amazing at Irish history, actually, but I have to say I haven't really gone over it in a long time, so I would be a bit rusty on it. But
do you know your first really rebel in Southern Ireland was in 1566. I forget his first name, but you might know. Fella named
1556.
Yeah, well, you had the likes of Sir Humphrey Gilbert, who was the half brother, believe it or not, of Sir Walter Raleigh. And he went over to Ireland in order to cause famine, which he did. He scored the land. And there was a Liverpool scribe named Thomas Churchyard. Fantastic. And there was a lad, he wrote about it. He said he went over in order to cause famine. And he put every man, woman, and child of them to the sword. He actually wrote that. This Liverpool scribe who went over he went over from Liverpool, you know, by the way. Said Humphrey said from Liverpool. And in 1566, no, yeah, that's what was his name? It was like Conan O'Neill, but it's not Conan, but he was the first rebel.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Man. He was a great man.
Yeah.
And he thought, it's just like, you know, if you've got no one behind you, and I'm sorry to go on to the Red Jew, you know, great lad, Red Jew. I love him for what he's done for his name as well. You know, if there was no Hamas, there'd be no one speaking up for the Gazans. You know, you might think, well, what about the Lebanese? Well, the Lebanese are getting bombed to fuck anyway.
Yeah, and what's the excuse there? Do you know what I mean? It's to create this greater Israel, and you know, I've been studying up on it because you know, I would have family that would be on the opposite side, if you know what I mean. They would have views of and when I mean family, I would have distant relations that would be on the opposite side, and we would have debates and stuff like that. And sometimes we wouldn't talk about it at all because it's a sore point. but I don't think now. I don't think over since October 7th of last year, they can say hand in their heart that they believe what is going on is the right thing. And I think anyone that uses the Holocaust and justifies the actions on the Gaza Strip, I think certainly the families of the victims of the Holocaust and even the victims themselves would be
something for you. Something for you. Something for you. When I was thinking of this today, you know that I have to watch films, don't you, for me film and TV?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now, do you know we've had wonderful things, about. There's a film called The Pianist with Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
One of my favourite actors, actually.
He's a great actor.
Right? You had Liam Neeson and
Michael Collins.
No, not Michael Collins. I'm talking about
Schindler's
the
List.
Holocaust. Talking about the Holocaust,
Yeah. Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, right?
Yeah.
So you have them. You have lots of great films, by the way.
Absolutely.
Do you think the Hollywoods will make a film, say, like about a group of families living in a tent, struggling on the move all the time to get away from bombs and finally being bombed? Do you think they'll make that in Hollywood?
You know the answer to that.
Exactly. And it's just like the indigenous American. I always remember when I was a child, a little boy going to see cowboys and Indians. Oh, I loved them,
Yeah.
And my uncle always used to take me, me and the others like as well, sitting there watching cowboys and Indians and even imitating horses, where you run like that and smack your bum. Right, anyway, I was fascinated by the wigwams. I'd love to live in one. Why are they? They were portable tents? And as a kid, you don't know about that.
No.
Getting chased by the white man off their land because there were resources there on the land, gold, oil, and they were getting chased off the land.
Amazing how history repeats itself, isn't it?
Oh, and they're still living on reservations now.
Yeah, yeah. And the one film that you will see, and even a TV series that you'll see that actually brings that up. Obviously, Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves, and then the TV series Yellowstone, which is amazing. Yellowstone is incredible, but it's so brilliantly done that you don't really know what side to take.
Yeah,
It's just brilliantly done. It shows the ugly side from both sides, if you know what I mean. And it's the most, I think, honest TV series out there, but especially Dances with Wolves, which was such an amazing film with Kevin Costner. I love that film.
Well, do you know when in the films that when I was a boy, and you see that the Apache, them dirty Apaches, taking scalps and going like that, scalp, scalp chief. He speak with forked tongue, and all this, right? Who were the first to scalp people? It was the white man,
of course.
And they copied. They said, "Oh, you're doing that. You're desecrating, a brave, a dead brave. We'll desecrate you," and that's what they did. The American indigenous. I do it all. Honestly, I do it all.
Marlon Brando was like when he
refused
was getting his Oscar. He left it to. Oh
again,
my God. Yeah, the lady, I can't think of her name.
But you know what? I don't know whether you know about this, and it's only been revealed. She wasn't an Indian or anything.
Was she not?
No.
Oh, wow.
Get in there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the Dick Cavett show.
The Dick Cavett.
Yeah, and he was doing an interview with Marlon Brando, and like I find Marlon Brando fascinating. I actually find that TV show fascinating. There was Arthur Mailer and another guy, Norman, two authors, and they were having massive fights and what have you. But Marlon Brando was fascinating on that show. But
do you know how he acted?
Marlon Brando.
I know all about him, you know.
Go on.
Well, I know all about him, like, but do you know when you see him like that?
Yeah.
This is business. Don't be talking. You know what he's like that.
Oh, he had the cotton buds in his mouth.
Yeah, but in any film, right? I was just trying to do something there.
All right, sorry.
Do you know when you see it, and he always looks, doesn't he, like that?
Yeah.
Right. He's reading his cue cards.
No.
Every film.
You're kidding.
Man.
So he had them like down here?
Yeah. And do you know that he was homosexual?
I didn't, no.
Yeah.
No. Jeez, and you wouldn't have thought that in Last Tango in Paris.
Well, I see, it was gay, and you know, both men and women in Hollywood kept it quiet.
Yeah.
And Angela, when it all came out about it, my mother went on a cruise in 1966, 5,
yeah,
something like that. And when she came home, you know, what was it like? You know, I was a mad little kid. Like, what was it like? She said, oh. And I had to go out the room. I said, what? I was listening about it. And you know what? She was talking about Rock Hudson. Right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So our Angela was there, you know, she was older anyway. So our Angela, and don't forget, this is 1965, 66.
Yeah.
Rock Hudson's name changed from Rock to Cock Hudson.
Wasn't he
Cock Hudson?
Yeah. No, I remember reading up on him too.
Cody's Trouble's going to save us.
Cody's changed his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the Liverpool videos. I've got a fun question for you guys.
Oh, dear.
Here we go. If you have a new nationality now, what would you pick? Italian.
Other than my own?
Yeah.
Liverpudlian.
There you go. See, I'm half Italian. Video. I'm half Italian. See,
Liverpudlian or Kiwi.
God blimey, my dad was a Kiwi.
I'll tell you, I went over to New Zealand a few years back, and a friend of mine was over there years and years ago as well. And I met up with my friend after not been in touch, and we were talking and, you know, talking about all sorts of stuff. But I told her that I keep having dreams of New Zealand ever since I went over there. And I was only over for 2 weeks, and most of that was spent traveling to get to New Zealand. And but I've been having dreams about New Zealand. There was just something about the place.
Did you go to Christchurch?
I did. I was on the North Island.
Oh, that's where Auckland is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was staying in Hamilton. But
that's where my dad came from.
Well, I was in Hamilton, And but she was there for a year, and she said ever since she left, she had dreams about New Zealand. And I can't explain the experience I had over there. Like I had a very good friend that I used to work with in two companies that he his visa ran out and he had to go back home. And actually, he has Italian blood in him as well, believe it or believe it not. And his dad, God rest his soul, was Italian, and he went back to New Zealand. It was his 30th birthday, and he says, "Why don't you come over?" So I went over, and he had a whole trip planned, and we went blackwater rafting, and I jumped off Sky Tower in Auckland twice, and I did Arctic Flying Fox, which is like doing a Superman thing down a canyon. But the experience and the people there, it was just incredible. It was just amazing. So, you know, if I had to choose what nationality I'd go for, well, I see Liverpool as part of Ireland, so I choose Liverpool, but I would choose New Zealand second.
Well, with my mum being Italian, it's obviously Italy for me.
Yeah.
I want to be repatriated to Italy. And if they said, "Where do you want to go?" I'll go Sorrento. The Amalfi Coast will do, mate.
Sorrento, yeah.
I'll just live my days out.
There you go.
Do you know what? I went over once, and I've been over loads of times, but this time I went over, and I went to see like part of the family, my mother's side.
All right.
And there was two families living in this town. So I got there, I went up, you know. So I went into this, io parlo molto lingua d'italiano molto bene. So I went into this restaurant. They opened it for me, and it was lunchtime, you know. Anyway, the fella got a great meal off him, and he wouldn't take it. And this wine, the wine was absolutely scrumptious. And I asked about the families, and he said, "You must be the unluckiest person on the planet because the two families are on vacation. They've gone on holiday."
God. Just your luck, God.
That's my luck, yeah. But I always went in the August because of my work.
Yeah.
I always went back to university when education, when, you know, teaching, when, or lecturing, whatever way you want to call it, in the September. So I went for the last 2 weeks, you know, the last week in August, first week in September. So I'd be all refreshed and everything, you know, going back. And that's when the Italians take their holidays.
All right. I get you.
You know, so
that's unfortunate.
It's mad, isn't it? Look at all these Americans, you know, look.
We're getting a load of comments here between American and then football and all sorts of stuff.
I know. As you never walk alone, family. You know, he's talking to the crazy good start to the season, and in the quarters of the cup too. Slaughter's absolutely taken Liverpool, making it look easy. What a man, Arnie Slot.
Let's review the situation at the end of the season, but absolutely, you know, fantastic start.
Back to politics. Football flashback. If Donald Trump was going to destroy America, he would have done it in his first term. If Kamala Harris was going to help America, she would have done it in her first term.
Yeah.
Great comments. Get in. Love it. Well, anyway, I'll have to end.
I know. I just jumped on and I just thought I'd say hello. but we know when Frank and Sean gets going, sure we don't stop.
That is the Red Chief. Sean, you need to come on some of Frank's educational shows. He's very knowledgeable and knows his stuff. You learn a great lot. Thank you, Sean. Read you.
Yeah, absolutely, Redu. I mean, I'm always open to listening to people and you know, even reading stuff off the chat and getting people's views and stuff. And, you know, I mean, I'd never claim to know all that much about American politics, although I always keep a close eye on it because it affects the rest of the world massively. So, yeah.
Well, Cozy False Nine. Great name, that, isn't it? Cozy.
I like that, yeah.
Bobby, sort of Bobby, you know. She tells me Harris, I don't know who it is, must be his wife or something. Could be, I don't know. Could be his next door neighbour, I just don't know. She tells me Harris will actually protect women and LGBTQ plus communities.
Like, yeah, I think he's referring to the abortion, and I don't know what the situation was with the LGBTQIA community, and
that's where it's going down the pan, people. Not being funny. I'm really, you know, you could call us old school. You could do anything. A man to me is a man. A woman to me is a woman. A man can't give birth. A woman can. And, you know, that's the way I look at it. I've got a granddaughter, 12 years of age, who can read and play the piano, read music and play the piano. And she takes after my mother on that, and my uncles, you know, because they were great musicians from Italy. And she takes after me. I'm hopeless, you know. I'm absolutely dreadful. I couldn't play a tune on a piano or anything, you know. And we come from Liverpool, you know. Everybody gets out, you know.
I feel like breaking out into a Shania Twain song. Man, I feel like a woman. Du, 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 du.
She's beautiful, eh?
The gobshite that bloody cheated on her. What in the Lord God was he thinking? You know the story behind that, don't you?
No.
So Shania Twain, her husband, basically cheated on her friend. They ended up getting together, but the husband of her best friend that her husband cheated on got with Shania Twain, and they got married. I mean, talk about complicated.
Just imagine, Shauno, if Shania was single and was looking at us, I think she'd marry the pair of us.
Frank, I'd even share her with you. I really would. You know, you could have her on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'll have her on.
Yeah. That's when my shows are.
I know. That's why I'm saying it to you.
I won't be able to have my show, so you'll be doing your shows. What are you like?
I don't know whether you hear one of my dogs here literally talking to me here. But yeah, Shania Twain, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely. And you know the iconic of icons, two of them there is in my opinion. Our family loved Sophia Loren, right? So that's who my granddaughter's named after, Sophia.
Jesus, right? Beautiful.
And Marilyn Monroe.
Goodbye, Norma Jean. Breaking out. I'm breaking out in the song. I'm telling you.
I know. I think you've gone berserk, to be honest.
I know. I know.
Drinking any Guinness here. Do you know?
I may be doing it tomorrow.
Do you know how Guinness was made? How it was came about?
How?
You're Irish. You should know.
No, I'm dying to find out your version of it. But go on.
Okay. They actually burned the beer. They burnt it. They must have gone out the room or something like that and forgot about it. And he came back and it was all black with all froth. They stirred it, you know. They tried to get all the blackness out and couldn't. And it's had a big froth. There's your Guinness.
Do you want to hear another thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure, tell me.
Do you know the original home of Guinness?
Go on.
It's a little place in Kildare, North Kildare, called Leixlip. Leixlip was a Viking village, or is a Viking village. The Irish name for it is Leman Vradan, which means salmon leap, or the leap of the salmon.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And Leixlip is my hometown. And that's where I'm from. That's where I'm living right now.
Are you there now? Yeah.
I'm there now, yeah.
Yeah, with all the salmon leap out of it. I was talking about salmon. That's all I was talking to. And I said that they're the most fantastic fish. And they go through, the currents that are coming towards them, jumping waterfall. Well, you know what I mean by waterfalls up these streams to lay their eggs. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And turtles, we were talking about turtles. And tomorrow night I'll be talking about vampires and things.
Vampires. Ooh.
I wrote a poem, I'm going to read it out. When am I going to read it? I might read it out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I wrote a poem for my granddaughter for Halloween. Shall I get it up? Yeah, it's
absolutely.
I'll see what it says. Yeah, I'm helping this girl. She's an undergraduate, and she see me on the telly, talking about the Irish.
Yeah.
And she's doing something on the Irish on a dissertation, and she phoned me up. Well, never phoned me up. She sent me an email, anyway, she said, "Will you help me with my dissertation?" I said, "Yeah." And she's coming next week to see. I don't know whether it's this Saturday or not. I'm not quite so sure now. Anyway, I'll get this up. I'll get it up.
That's right, Songs 4K. There was a salmon on the old Irish 10 pence.
On the old 10 pence?
Yeah, there's... and in fact, I think there was... Yeah, the 10 pence, yeah. Before the euro was brought in.
Right, let's see. Yeah, I've got it. I wrote this for Sophia last year. My granddaughter.
Yeah, give us a read of it.
And it's called Halloween anyway. I hope I get it out right, my eyes are killing me. Anyway. Shadows of ghouls and spirits come out to haunt the night. Grotesque lit pumpkin faces light up darkened streets. Children dressed in evil splendor, playing trick or treat for fun. Ignore their demands at your peril as the darkened night drags on. A witch's cauldron of sinister brews could be your demise. If treats are not forthcoming, be sure of an evil surprise. No enjoyment on the night. Halloween's will see to that. Children, ghouls and spirits are having a joyous time. A night of misery awaits us all as we sit waiting for their evil call. Trick or treat.
Oh man, you need to publish these books or these poems. Have you done that, Frank, or have done anything like that?
I've got loads of poems. I write poetry in my spare time.
Yeah,
and I just write it.
You need to publish them.
It's like this one here, Missing You. This is a love poem.
I like that already.
Passages of time and space passes so slowly without you, languishing in darkness. O beam of light shining through the blackness, is it your silhouette I see, or is it a shadowy mirage? Let me see and hear you. Let me touch and hold you. Let me keep loving you. Let me lie next to you. Let me forevermore whisper, I love you.
Frank, just when I thought you couldn't surprise me. Honest
all
to
the
God.
poems on there. All on there they are.
That's amazing.
There's loads. I've liked it in loads, you know.
Let's get Frank a publishing deal and let's get this published. That's all I'm saying. That is all I am saying.
You get you know, I've always said I'm a specialist on architecture, and you get these fellas who go around being inspired, you know, by people, by architecture of designs. You know, they even go to ancient Rome, ancient Greece, you know, looking at their now ruined temples, and, you know, they're all greatly inspired. And you get writers greatly inspired by other writers. The writers that inspired me was obviously Shakespeare and Dickens, because I've been on the telly about him. And the poets, William Blake, Keats, Browning, unbelievable. You know, so they inspired me.
Yeah.
And in modern day, you know, you haven't got so many as in modern day, only war poets. Honestly, only war poets.
Kind of a dying art form, isn't it? Or poetry. I mean, I love poetry. I had a book in secondary school and it was called Soundings. And I don't know whether you ever had it over there, but I used to love that book. I still have it, actually. I think it's here somewhere. I think I see it there if my eyesight isn't playing tricks with me. But I used to love reading it, and I used to love people just reading it to me. You know, I know that most people, if they saw me, or most people that know me from YouTube, wouldn't have thought that about me. No. But
you don't think that about me either.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, it's so funny. People kind of look at you as, you know, when I did Fenway, We Come Not to Pay. Obviously, they had a perception of me as this absolute crackpot or something, this mad Irishman. But there was a lot going on, you know, at that time for me, and you know, deep down, I love poetry, you know, absolutely.
I love classical music. I love classical music, Sean.
Yeah,
I love opera.
Yeah.
One night I was going out, like over here in this country here, this England of ours. We always celebrated, you know, when we were young, you know, 21st birthdays. We always celebrated them. And anyway, the lads were coming through the square, we called the square, and they were shouting me. They're saying, come on. This is true, this. They're saying, come on, are you ready? It's Chaz's birthday. We're all going. I said, listen, boys, I'm sorry, I'm going to see Macbeth. Right, so I was going to, you know, the local theatre to see Macbeth. And they shouted up. I never said I'm going to local theatre to see Macbeth. I just said, I'm going to see Macbeth. And they went, bring him as well. It'll be all right. I said, I'll just see you later. I wasn't going to explain because they were walking away, you see, going to the pub.
Bring him as well.
So I went to see Macbeth through this. Honest.
That's brilliant.
I've got my priest thing on. I've got my altar boy thing on. Look.
Your altar boy, yeah.
Got that on, you know. So anyway, and it goes up to the house because in those days you just had the parties in the house.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, I went up and I walked in. And they went, yeah, all right, Fran. And I went, all right, you know. And one of them went like that. Where's that fella, Mac? Is he with you? You know, go and bring him in. And I went, no. I said, he couldn't make it. I had to say, I wasn't going to, you know what I mean? I just carried on then with the night.
Oh, that's brilliant.
My mates loved them. I loved them. Yeah. Led you. Oh, Frank doesn't know how good he is, how good his poetry is. If I was a girl, I'd have you reading your poetry every night for years.
There you go.
I'll just. And the Reds, you say, Bob Paisley signs one of my poems. It was about the Reds. Go away, Reds.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And you know what? Like all our Americans must have gone. They must have gone sods off.
They're like, they're not talking about politics anymore.
Just imagine them telling them about when they had sat down and had a cup of. I had a cup of tea, and he was drinking coffee, and I sat for half an hour with this fella on his own. I was on my own, and I went, I've got to go now. And I shook his hands. I said, thank you so much. This has been the greatest honour of my life, just talking to you. And as I was walking away from him, he said to me, I said, thank you so much, mister. Right. And he went, hey, Frank, call me Clint. Clint Eastwood.
No way.
Are we Clint?
You were kidding me.
No. Met him in Scotland. I went to Scotland to meet a couple of friends, you know, a couple that met on holiday. And stayed there, and we went to a place called Duck Bay. And it was a complex where the only complex that's there on Loch Lomond. Nothing else can be built. And Clint was there playing golf for a week. He was a judge down at Cannes.
No way.
And when I walked in, like this was in the day, this is where this lad said, you know, we're going here. I said, look, he's there. So anyway, I said, are you coming over? He said, no, I don't want to go over. So I walked over, Clint Eastwood sitting there, having a coffee. And I went, Mr. Eastwood. And he stood up. And he said, sir. I said, can I shake your hands? And he shook my hand. He said, hey, do you want a coffee? You know, gestured me to sit down. No, I'll have a cup of tea, though. And he just smiled, you know. Said, okay. And he called this waitress over, cup of tea. And I spoke to him for half an hour. And that's when I said, Mr. Eastwood, I said, I've got to go. I said, you know, he's waiting for me over there. And when I was walking away, I said, thank you so much, Mr. Eastwood. He said, hey, Frank, call me Clint.
Christ. You just can't, you can't like, that just changes things, doesn't it? Like, that's a game changer, that, like, such a...
And you knew I kissed on the, not on the lips, on the cheek. I shook her hands, I couldn't believe it. She was here in Liverpool, and I was invited to a function, and they had it at the hotel, you know. You know the Adelphi Hotel in Liverpool?
Yeah.
Place. And that day, the guest who was married to that Lisa Minnelli, he invited me because I gave a talk for him, you see. Anyway, I went. And she was very old. And she sang Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And when she was leaving, I was standing outside. I didn't know she was leaving. I was just standing outside. She left early, you know. And she walked out. And I stopped her. And I said, may I kiss you, please? And she went like that. She put her head there, you know, like that. So I kissed her on the cheek, held her hand very gently because she was very old. And that was Jane Russell.
No.
Jane Russell.
Fucking hell. Holy God. I mean, Frank, I'm learning more and more about you. Whatever you can teach me is one thing, but Jesus, what I'm learning about you is something else. I think I'm going to call you Don Juan.
I don't know. That's why I go to bed on my own.
Sure, look, you're giving the rest of the lads a chance.
You know, I put a picture up of me when I was about, I don't know, about 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I put it up on Facebook years ago. I said, yeah, this is me when I was, you know. Anyway, he went, well, I went, fucking you look like a 70s porn star. Italian porn star, he said. Look like an Italian 70s porn star. So,
Don Juan Fabio.
Oh, unbelievable, honestly.
That's so funny.
Let's see, I will finish on this. And it's the football flashback. French President Macron raises 1 billion for Lebanon, with 200 million for the military and 800 million for humanitarian aid. That's brilliant. But where will it get to? It won't get into the Lebanon. It won't get into the Gaza.
No.
They're stopping it.
Absolutely.
And they shouldn't give arms either. It's all right.
No point in, you know, funding arms and then funding aids that's not going to them.
No. You never walk alone, family. Francis, you never meet Marilyn Monroe? No, she was well dead. she died while I was a schoolboy. A little schoolboy, 1960s.
How old do you think Frank is? You never walk alone, family.
Someone said I built the pyramids. Because I had a program and I said, who built the pyramids, you know? I said, no little fella with, you know, one of them things on, you know, come out and I tell you what, lads, let's build this. What is it? We call it a pyramid. Okay then. But one thing's got to happen. We've got to get the beam of Sirius through to the top that lit every thing and get into the tomb. The beam lit the tomb of the Pharaoh.
Before I forget to tell you, I don't know, you probably seen this yourself, Frank, but there's a fantastic documentary on Netflix called The Lost Civilization that, you know, goes into the Stonehenge and the pyramids and Newgrange in Ireland. It's a fascinating documentary.
It is though, isn't it? I'm going to give you my age. You never walk alone, because he says, Frank, I think is 69, and am I close? He says. I don't know. In fact, I'm 77.
Get the hell out of town.
Yeah, I'm 77.
Frank is aging like a good wine, while I'm aging like a bad curry. His hairline is better than mine, and he's 77 years of age. Lads, come on now.
Yeah, it's you know, people say, do you know when I meet old neighbours from years ago?
Yeah.
And I was with Francine, you know, my daughter, and it was only last week. She took me shopping. And anyway, we met this particular person, this fella. And he goes, all right, Frank. And I went, you haven't changed. You've never changed. I said, I have. I've changed. And my hair's gone all white now. And he went, well, you know, anyway, shook hands with him, give him a hug. And, you know, I said, listen, I've got to go and get an ear. You know, it's okay. It's great to see you. And he walked away. And my daughter went, Dad, was you at school with him? I said, yeah. she said, is he the same age as you? And I went, yeah. She said, he hasn't got a tooth in his head. He has one tooth.
Well,
she said, what is it you tell him to get false teeth? I said, I can't tell him that. It's his business. Not that I've got false teeth, like, but you know. But anyway, it was so funny the way Dad, was he in your I said, yeah, was he at school with you? So it's out there, people. I don't know.
I'll tell you, the silver fox of Liverpool.
Oh. Does she never walk alone? He says, to meet Marilyn Monroe. Have you ever met? And I nearly did.
Oh,
I'll tell you who I did meet. I'll tell you who I did meet. And I missed her by 20 minutes. And do you know where it was? Do you know where it was, Sean? It was here in Liverpool. She was actually doing in North Wales. Oh, what's that? It's a video game now. Tomb Raider. Yeah. She's running Tomb Raider, right? And I said to a mate of mine, a very good friend of mine, and her husband at the time was Billy Bob Thornton. I'm a big fan of Billy Bob.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to see him because he was bringing his guitar and he was playing there. And do you know why they were here? Honestly, you know, Billy Bob wanted to just play in the cavern, you know, the cavern pub. And they were here to play just that. But also, you're not going to believe this, and this is why the Reds, they went to see Liverpool.
No way.
They went to see, it was a Wednesday, and I missed that match because I wanted to see Billy Bob. So I forget who we were playing, but Angelina got off, and they were all saying, oh, you've just missed Angelina Jolie. I went, oh, have I? She said, yeah. Anyway, she got off about 20 minutes before, and met Bob, Billy Bob.
Oh, you met Bob, did you? Billy
Bob? I waited for him to finish because he was going to match.
No way.
And I shook hands with him. I said, you know, that was great. I didn't know you were a musician. And he said, well, you know, I tried my best. And
I remember listening to or watching an interview that he did with his band. It's kind of like...
I didn't even know he has a band, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, kind of a bluegrass band or something like that. But he was on a Canadian radio presenter show, and he started asking questions about him being an actor, which he went ballistic over, absolutely ballistic over. And like he says, he acted a bit weird, and then he says, I told you that I don't want to talk about my acting career. You know, that's different to, you know, what we're doing, which, I mean, fair enough, he had a point. But he's meant to be a very good, I mean, you've seen him, but he's a very, very good musician, as well as, what's his name? Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's very, very good, yeah. But
it's strange, isn't it? You know, like, do you know, I interviewed, you might like this, actually. I was asked, going back, and my principal came up to me and she said, we want you to interview. And she mentioned the name, and I went, and he's great. And I said, who is he? She said he was in the intelligence during the Second World War. And I went, well, that's down my street, you see. And I went,
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll do that. So anyway, I went over. And I was talking to him. And what a man. Get onto this. He joined the army as an officer. You know, he's an officer.
Yeah.
And he nearly got collared at Dunkirk. So we got over, and he said, bless me afterwards, okay. He said, fuck that. He said, fuck that. So he joined the Navy. Right? Well, he joined the Navy, resigns his commission in the army, joined the Navy, and he got torpedoed. And he went like, fuck that, honest.
No
He
way.
said, fuck that. He said, fuck that. He said. The next, he got back somehow. He got back and he joined the Air Force. He joined the Air Force. Guess what happens? Shot out. Landed in the channel. Got back again. So he resigned his commission. So, like, he resigned his commission in the army, he resigned his commission in the Navy, he resigned his commission in the Air Force, and he joined the intelligence, right? And who became his best mate was Mr. Fleming.
Oh my God Almighty, Ian Fleming.
Now he was great mates with him. He was great mates with Ian Fleming, and I said, Ian Fleming. I said, James Bond. He said, yeah. He said, in fact, James Bond was based on a real life fella. He could speak perfect. He could speak several languages, perfect, no accent. You know, like if it's Yemen to come here, what is your name? Hey, you know, like they have an accent. And he went into Berlin a few times, dressed as a German officer. He even went over dressed as a Gestapo. And I said, did he wear them leather macs and the hats? And, you know, he said, yeah. I said, with the flappy briefcases, you know, because you always see them with a flappy briefcase, don't you?
Yeah.
He said, yes. And you never guess who his grandson was.
Ian Fleming or the guy that...
The guy that's why I never mentioned his name. And I said, anyway, I met his grandson in the main stand, right Anfield, big Liverpool fan he is. Do you know who that was? Yeah,
Daniel Craig.
Yes. What the fuck? I said, I interviewed you. He's dead. He was dead. I said, hang on a minute. Shook his hand, and I said, I interviewed your granddad. I said, what a story he told me about the Army, Navy, and Air Force, and ended up being Ian Fleming's mate. He said, how proud would he of you? It'd be of you. And he just said, it's amazing, isn't it? I said,
it's almost like as if that Bond role was made for him.
Made for him, yeah.
That's incredible.
All those years later.
That is incredible. Frank, I've got to ask you, and I know we're talking about films now, but I'm really interested after you telling me that. You've obviously watched the last Bond film.
No.
Oh, you haven't?
You're not going to believe it. Not going to believe this.
Frank.
I've never watched Daniel Craig. Never watched him.
Oh, Frank.
You know why? I've never liked him.
No.
Honestly, I haven't watched yet. I love James Bond.
Oh, Frank.
And my favourite Bonds was Roger the Lodger. Yeah.
Live and Let Die.
Brilliant. That's me. He's my favourite Bonds because when he was describing Bond to me, I tell you what it's like, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, when he wrote it and he brought in to play him in the 1930s, Basil Rathbone.
Yeah.
Basil Rathbone. When they brought him in, he was the perfect fit. Description, everything.
Mm.
James Bond, that was Roger Moore. Big, tall, smart, very suave, handsome fella.
You didn't see
or you didn't see Sean Conroy as the.
Yeah, I've seen all the Sean ones.
No, but you didn't see him as your Bond. You saw Roger.
No. It was just. But I've seen all the Bonds right up to the other fella. Even what's his name, the Welsh
Pierce
fella.
Brosnan.
No, Pierce. Yeah, I've seen him. He never quite had the voice, unfortunately, Pierce. He had the looks and everything else. Timothy Dalton.
I love Timothy Dalton.
He was good at it.
He was amazing. They were originally, GoldenEye was originally meant to be Timothy Dalton, but his contract ran out, and they had a falling out, and they didn't renew the contract, and then they went with Pierce, which I think, GoldenEye was an amazing film, like a fantastic film. But I think they lost it completely a few films in, when obviously Q dies, then they bring in John Cleese. It went a bit tits up, really. But I'll tell you one thing for nothing: if you haven't watched Daniel Craig as Bond, I would seriously advise you to, because I'd love to find out what you thought of the last one.
Okay, I'll have a look at it.
It had such a huge impact on me. I won't tell you. I don't know whether you know what happened or whatever, but Casino Royale, you need to start off with. Casino Royale was an absolute masterpiece. It was amazing, fantastic film. Then what was there? Quantum of Solace, which wasn't great because it was during the strikes in Hollywood, and it was in between two directors, and Daniel Craig had an injury, so it was a bit all over the place, and even Daniel Craig will admit that it wasn't the best. Then you've got Skyfall and oh my God, there's another, I can't think of it. But if you watch all of those films,
I won't watch them all.
Oh,
honestly, I will not watch them all, simply because I know it's shocking. Met the fella, he's a big red. The incredible story by his granddad. It's like Jason Statham. I won't watch any of his films.
No, I get what you're saying about Jason Statham, because every film he's in, he narrates, and I just think it's so annoying. But I get what you're saying. But if you're going to watch any film, watch the last one. Watch.
Well, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll tell you the film to watch, and I said this when it first came out, and I watched it, and I said, the way things are going now, I just hope that they've stopped forever nuclear testing. The bombs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because wars. What was going on? The Iraqi war was going on. No, since it was well after. It was I forget what war was going on. I think it was Afghanistan.
Yeah.
The Afghans. Anyway, I think so. No, it wasn't. That was even before. I forget what war was going on. What the fuck was it? But anyway, forget that, right? And I just said, I hope that they stop all this nuclear testing, honestly. And that's what I said at the time. Because we're destroying the ozone layer, and people don't realise that we're destroying the ozone layer. Because those bombs, those tests, when they drop from a plane, it doesn't hit the ground. it just spreads out. It explodes in the air and takes pushes everything up. And everything that goes up to the ozone layer. But not only that, so does the blast. Right. So this is what I was saying then. So you watch a film, and when you see the very end, you'll understand why I want you to watch it. And it's called, you might have seen it, it's called Knowing. Knowing. Yeah,
I don't think that's
with Nick Cage.
one of my favorite actors.
It's thought-provoking, honestly.
Nick, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to hazard a guess because I think I have seen this.
Go on.
So is this where these disasters start happening and he has this calculated and
his son got this little, from a time capsule. Children.
Yes, I have seen that film.
Well, the very end, I'm sorry if any of these haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But you know where that solar flare comes out?
Yeah.
Solar flares hit us all the time. And if the ozone layer is, don't forget, the ozone layer is, it's damaged now. It's severely damaged now. And one of those solar flares that was in there, if it got through, it would destroy Earth.
Yeah.
So there was a message there.
Yeah. I did see that film. He's estranged from his family, and he goes when basically he leaves these kids with these alien life form or whatever.
No.
Is that not it?
No, that's another Nick Cage film.
Am I getting completely confused with two films then?
Yeah, well, this starts off. It starts off. You just see him in the house, with his lads, and he brings them to school, whatever,
Yeah.
His wife had died.
Yes.
His wife had died, and there was But
you there?
Before you see him, you see a time capsule in the school being put in. Have you seen it?
I've seen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you forget it, watch it again.
I'll have to go and watch it again because
because right at the end, honestly, watch it, and it's only my thoughts at the time I seen it. I said, "That's going to happen. That's going to happen."
Because I remember looking at something there, a documentary, and they were saying that the sun, some of the flares from the sun are getting larger, and within a couple of years, it's rumored to be fairly close to Earth. I think within 20 or 30 years, it'll be extremely close to Earth. So if there's damage done to the ozone layer any further, I mean, God knows what will happen.
That's right. That's why knowing is so important. It really is. It sends a message out there. It's like anything else. It's shocking the way some people they just here's what I said. There was a coup d'etat against Joe Biden. You know that, don't you? Coup d'etat. Get him out. Do you know what I've been saying for the last couple of years? Honestly.
For what?
Honestly, this is what I've been saying for the last couple of years. If Joe Biden, if no one does anything, like take him away, I'm not saying kill him or anything, I'm just saying take him away, saying that he's not fit to be president. Here's what I said. He's very old. He's got all these old men around him, all these neocons, all these warmongers. Have you ever seen that Schumer? He's dead old, and he's in the Senate or in the Congress or whatever they're in. And horrible man. And they're all very old. And here's what I said. They could press that button. just end the globe. That's
very easily. Yeah.
Just press it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, very easily. A lot of them can do that. You know,
all
a
the
lot
time.
of them can do that.
All the
Yeah,
time.
and it's frightening. And I mean, that's something I think the disarmament of nuclear weapons and nuclear power, I think, needs to happen very quickly. Will it happen? I doubt it very much. But it's frightening, and it's frightening to think that the third largest army or military in the world is Israel's.
And you wouldn't think that, would you?
You wouldn't think of it, you know.
And
but
one of the smallest nations, 7 million.
yeah.
Now,
how is that possible? You know, so
it's America.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it
Americans just give them everything, but Iran can get through the Iron Dome easily. Easily. They've got 21,000, get onto this, ballistic missiles that could take the whole of Israel out without using nuclear warheads.
Sorry, that's one of my dogs. They're just grabbing me there.
It's over 100,000.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Over 100,000 ballistic missiles. And they showed the other night, last week, they said, really? And they sent over, even to his house where he lived, a ballistic missile just got through. And they sent over, didn't they, the last lot? And they sent over, and they just shot them all down with the Russian defense system, which they've got. They just shot them all down. A couple got through, but did no really big harm. And this escalation has to stop. But what you've got the Americans and the UK saying, I can't believe what they're saying. They're saying Israel has a right to defend itself.
If I hear one more person...
3-1. Scores 3-1.
It's an absolute disgrace how, and I mean, again, these people will all be on the wrong side of history, no matter what way you look at it. You know, they will be on the wrong side of history, and I mean, it could be to the detriment of future generations, and certainly for Palestinians, it's the death of all generations. It's an absolute genocide. There's no other way of looking at it. It's not defense. It was never defense. It hasn't been defense in the last 76 years. And what they're looking to do now is to create a greater Israel. And you can say I'm brainwashed into what I'm saying by Western media, and in fact I'm not, you know.
Well, on Friday, I've got a map, and I'll show you what they want to take.
Yeah,
sure. That's why they say
I've seen it.
From the river to the sea.
If you've seen any of my Instagram stories and Facebook stories, you'll see I post up quite a lot on it. You know,
it's shocking.
Shocking. Yeah.
And I want to see us win our 7th Champions League. I hope I see that.
I hope I see it too. I hope we see another league title, you know, and these American owners out.
Our American friends only. But Cozy Pulse 9 says, you know, how do you, Frank, what's your advice for aging? I've got no advice. I just grow old. I try to have no stress in my life. I try to do the best for my family. And like never doing drugs. I've never done drugs. Even at university, when I was at university, they had all these like pills. And I must admit, I took these once, and it was on Christmas Eve. I always remember this fella saying to me, I think you call it speed, right? He said, yeah, take 2 of them, makes you drink, you'll be all right. And so anyway, because I was bloated, honestly, I was bloated. Christmas Eve, out with the, how old was I? About 21. Still living with my grandmother, you know. Couldn't bring any girls back. Took a girl back once. Never made so, blimey. I was treated like a 5-year-old. And the girl went and she said, and you, out of here. No pornography in here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I didn't even know what pornography meant, to be honest. Anyway, the girl went, never ever seen that girl again. Anyway, I had these pills on that night, Christmas Eve, you know. Well, not on the night, it was on the day. I didn't sleep for 4 days. And
God.
I was wrecked. My head, I was wrecked. I couldn't sleep. I was awake. I was wide awake. I just couldn't sleep for 4 solid days. And that stopped me. That stopped me.
Jesus.
I've never ever taken a drug, never taken any weed or anything like that. So, clean living. And
You
get
can
away.
buy a book by Frank Carlyle called Clean Living in major stores.
Starting off with a poem.
Starting off with...
But a nice long poem. Yeah, feel all right, wouldn't it?
With each book, you'll get a book of poetry by Frank Carlyle.
Did you know I refused a gong?
What?
I refused a gong.
You refused the gong?
Yeah, because I was at Hillsborough. We were, you know, fighting for a long time.
Yeah.
Someone put me up for a gong, you know, at one of these things you get off the government and the establishment.
Right.
You know, I don't know whether it was an MBA or an OBE or a CBA.
Oh, they were looking to knight you or to OBE you, okay.
Yeah, and I refused. My name went forward and, you know, got this paraphernalia back and I refused it. Because it was the establishment.
Absolutely.
I was fighting against. I've always fought against the establishment, even from a young man. Always fought against that. Hate colonialism. I don't see why people should go and, you know, countries go into inferior countries and superimpose their superiority upon them. And then in the meantime, as the forcing their superiority, they're taking away their resources. And that's exactly what America will do.
Can I ask you, what do you think of King Kenny?
I lost respect for him. I love Kenny. I was at a function with Kenny. This is honest to God, this is absolutely true. Ask Francine, that's my daughter. I walks over, I went like, that's a Francine. I said, I'm just going over to shake this fella's hand, Kenny. So I walks over. And he was talking to a writer who I know, and he knows me. Kenny, can I shake your hand? And he went, yeah. I always say that to people I want to shook his hand. And I went, hello, Kenny. He said, hello, Frank. He knew who I was. And I told him a story about a fella who was born in a Liverpool workhouse. I've written a play about it, actually. I'll show you the play when you come over.
Yeah.
Show you it. And it was about this birth that gave Dickens, because Dickens loved coming to Liverpool, that gave Dickens the seed for the birth of Oliver Twist. So I had written a play called a reflection of Dickens. Dickens is in the play.
Yeah.
Just spotlights on, and that goes down, and it just lights up, and he's narrating the play. Each scene, not you know, each scene he narrates about it. Not all the time, you know. He just this is a, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I told him about this, and Kenny, honest to God, he went like that all through the night, and he go, "Hey Frank, oh, Oliver Twist, tell him what he was." I said, "A scouser." And these fellas who were just so all night I got.
No way.
I had my photograph taken with him, you know.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. We were getting into cabs to get off to a hotel. And this was in the Anglican big cathedral, Gothic cathedral here in Liverpool. And we were going to a hotel in Hope Street. And it was shocking, really, because he looked bevied.
Yeah.
And I said to a mate of mine who was his right-hand man, working up at the academy, I said, get Kenny's autograph, ask him to sign that. He said, okay. Kenny said, I'm not giving him that. I'm not signing that, because he looked no better.
Yeah.
Me and Kenny and Oliver Twist.
That's brilliant.
So,
And did you ever speak to him about like taking the knighthood?
no, he hadn't. No, I wouldn't have gone over to him otherwise.
Yeah.
He hadn't received it. He hadn't received it because we went to a function, and you know the fella who was married to Liza Minnelli, David Guest.
David Guest, yeah.
Well, I gave a talk for him, and he was inviting me to these functions he had in Liverpool, and that was one of the functions. And I ended up having a bevy with, honestly, not, you know, Kenny was happy. I ended up at the hotel having a bevy with, you're not going to believe it, but it's true, Benny King, Billy Paul, and Percy Sledge.
I don't know, Frank.
Me with the three of them. Our Francine got a cab, you know, we were getting a cab with Percy Sledge, you know, to take us down. Taxis were there, laid down for us. And Percy, what a man he was. Fucking hell. He had these shades on, you know, big shades. And he gets in the cab and he helps Francine in. You know, he said, hey, let me, you know, and he sits down and he went, come on, honey. You know, and he pulls her in, you know, from the armpit upwards, you know, so helping her in. And she said to him, I'm struggling to get in. And she said to him, Percy. He said, yeah. She said, what are you wearing shades for? Oh, it's midnight. And he went, honey, all legends wear shades, no matter what time of day or night.
That is brilliant. Jesus, you've had some life, Frank.
I've been very fortunate and very lucky. Very fortunate and very lucky. I really have. You know, when I made those DVDs, the lads who was with Tony Snell, he wanted a box set, believe it or not, was Paul McCartney, and he sent him a box set down. Paul McCartney. So he's got his DVD somewhere.
I don't know what I would do if I bumped into Paul McCartney. I don't know what I'd do.
I was only talking to Jay tonight about it. Was it Jay talking? No. Was it? No, I was talking to one of the lads off chat. He rang me up and he's coming down to see me on Friday.
Yeah.
You'll see his name. It's Tony LFC. And he always brings me a big tray of mince pies because it says one Christmas. I love mince pies, you know. I love Christmas because I love mince pies when they come out. From a fucking big tray of them. From
That's nice.
And they're huge. Harry's gone. My mate's gone. No, there he is. Is he back? But you know, honestly, Sean, he brought me them right. So I was talking to him today. Now, his cousin is married to Paul's cousin. And Tony would tell you, you know, on chat or whatever. And I said about, I was at a function and Paul had these, you know, he loves his art. He paints, Paul.
Yeah.
He was at art school. And he has an exhibition up in the Walker Gallery, which is, you know, by us. And we were there, we were invited down. And I was with Ricky Tomlinson and Sue Johnson. So anyway, we walked over. And I was chatting to him. I was chatting to Paul, you know. And his brother, Mike, I was a judge. Me and him were judges, two judges. He was judging artwork, pavement art. And I was telling him, and he said, yeah, he said, that was good. You and I are our kids, he calls them. You and our kids, you know, Mike McCann. Which is great. So that's the only time I've ever met Paul McCartney. And a nice man. Loves Liverpool. Always comes back. You know, never forgets his roots.
Yeah.
Look, it's 10:02.
I know. We've been talking I have the dogs up listening to our stories here, and they're as fascinated as I am.
It's been great.
It's been great chatting to you, because I was going to miss Thursday or tomorrow, or well, today now, but I had to come on and say hello.
Yeah, so. Because I've got tomorrow night's pod. I've also got the Friday one, which is current affairs, which we've been talking about anyway. But there'll be a lot more to say about that. And I mean,
yeah. Well, I'll try coming on for that, Frank.
Please do.
Yeah, I should be available for that.
I just want to say to all our American friends out there, if you haven't subscribed, will you please subscribe and press the likes, simply because I need to get my algorithm up there. Please do it.
Yeah,
and I'll highly appreciate it. And if you can join myself and Sean on Friday, which would be great. But join me tomorrow night for the football show. Promise you, I won't go into political stuff. It really won't. And hopefully I'll see you all on Friday or tomorrow night. Okay. Sean, mille grazie, as the Italians say.
Been a pleasure, Frank, as always.
Prego. Ci vediamo.
Take it easy.
Ciao.